Chapter 40. Sit down, relax your mind, and don't resist. Ignoring Zhang Wenyong, Ningyu said to Lu Shan, "Right now, the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill in your body have all gathered at your heart. If you don't treat it in time, you will only have 24 hours to live. Young Master Ning, please save me." Through the conversation between Ningyu and Zhang Wenyong, Lu Shan knew that he was indeed in great danger. If not for Ningyu's appearance, he might even be grateful to Zhang Wenyong. At that time, he might not even know how he died. Hence, he hated Zhang Wenyong very much. However, he did not dare to show it. After all, Zhang Wenyong was not someone he could afford to offend. He did not have Ningyu's boldness and did not dare to offend Zhang Wenyong. "Humph, you call me young Master Ning so sweetly. I think you've forgotten your identity." Zhang Wenyong snorted coldly. "Young Master Zhang, Lu Shan hurriedly said. However, just as Lu Shan opened his mouth, Ningyu's berating voice sounded. He quickly shut his mouth and said, "Don't speak." With his palm on Lu Shan's back, Ningyu secretly released his soul force and quietly entered Lu Shan's body. Hiss! Seeing the condition of Lu Shan's heart, even though Ningyu had lived 2 lives, he could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. There was a weak energy shield in front of Lu Shan's heart, resisting the soul-devouring pill's effects. Otherwise, even if a sage appeared, he might not be able to cure him. Ningyu's soul force slowly approached Lu Shan's heart. Circulating the spirit transformation art, he began to expel the soul-devouring pill's effects bit by bit. Perhaps it felt the invasion of Ningyu's soul force. The soul-devouring pill's effects suddenly gave up on nibbling away at the energy shield and turned to attack Ningyu's soul force. The soul-devouring pill's effects changed its target. Lu Shan only felt a sharp pain coming from his heart and could not help but scream. "Shut up if you don't want to die," Ningyu berated. Even though he was in extreme pain and even had a hideous and warped expression, for the sake of survival, Lu Shan still gritted his teeth tightly and tried his best to not make the slightest sound. "Young Master, can Ningyu really cure Lu Shan?" The skinny man beside Wu Yong asked with a frown. "It's hard to say. The medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill are very strong. I don't know what's going on inside Lu Shan, so I'm not sure," said Wu Yong. "If Ningyu can cure Lu Shan, I'll write my name backwards." Zhang Wenyong laughed sinisterly. Wu Yong did not know the condition of Lu Shan's body, but he was very clear about it. This was because the Yuan Qi shield in front of Lu Shan's heart was left behind by him. Hearing Lu Shan scream, Zhang Wenyong concluded that the Yuan Qi barrier he had left behind must have been broken. Otherwise, Lu Shan would not have cried out like a pig being slaughtered. If the Yuan Qi barrier breaks, Lu Shan will die a horrible death in at most 10 minutes. Zhang Wenyong could not help but smile when he thought of this. Uft! Suddenly, Ningyu's expression changed, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His body was on the verge of collapse, and even his hands that were placed on Lu Shan's back were swaying. "Ha ha ha, Ningyu! Admit defeat if you can't do it. Otherwise, the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill will be transferred to you. That won't be good." Zhang Wenyong added insult to injury. "Zhang Wenyong, can you shut up?" Wu Yong's expression was gloomy as he said coldly, "If you disturb Ningyu again, I don't mind sparring with you." "You." Zhang Wenyong was a little angry, but he remembered that he had not advanced to the Khanate realm. So he took a deep breath and said, "I won't lower myself to your level. When Ningyu dies, let's see how you can still be so arrogant." "Ningyu, this is all I can help you with," Wu Yong muttered as he looked at the pale Ningyu. At Lu Shan's heart, Ningyu's soul power was slowly expelling the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill. Although the speed was a little slow, the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill were slowly being expelled from Lu Shan's body. However, the consumption of soul power was a little large, so Ningyu's face was getting paler and paler. In the blink of an eye, an hour had passed, and Ning Yu's face was extremely pale. As for Lu Shan, his breathing was weak, and he even looked like he was about to stop breathing. Wu Yong, in my opinion, you should return my jade bracelet and storage bag to me. Zhang Wenyong could not help but say again, if this continues, it won't be long before Ning Yu dies. It hasn't been 2 hours yet. The outcome of the battle is still unknown. For some reason, Wu Yong was very confident in Ning Yu. Although Ning Yu did not look good, Wu Yong still believed that Ning Yu would win and cure Lu Shan. At this moment, Lu Shan suddenly spat out a mouthful of black blood. His hideous expression finally eased a little. The medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill. Ji Feng exclaimed. What? Is it the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill? Zhang Wenyong's expression changed drastically as he hurriedly looked at Lu Shan. What he saw shocked Zhang Wenyong quite a bit. Other than spitting out a mouthful of black blood, Lu Shan's clothes were also dyed black, and he looked a little ugly. The medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill in Lu Shan's body. Zhang Wenyong was a little dumbfounded. His mouth was slightly agape, and his face was filled with confusion. It was actually forced to the surface of the skin and seeped out. Get out! Ning Yu did not notice Zhang Wenyong's dumbfounded expression. Instead, he gritted his teeth and instantly released his soul power, forcing all the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill out of Lu Shan's body. Uft, uft, uft. After spitting out 3 mouthfuls of black blood, Lu Shan's expression gradually returned to normal. Although he still looked very weak, compared to earlier, the difference was like heaven and earth. Phew! Standing up, Ning Yu let out a long breath and said, the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill in Lu Shan's body have been completely expelled. He's fine now. Although he was still very weak, Lu Shan still bowed to Ning Yu and said solemnly, Thank you, young Master Ning, for saving my life. There's no need for that. I only saved you to make a bet with Zhang Wenyong, Ning Yu said after taking the storage bag and jade bangle from Wu Yong. Ning Yu, you actually healed Lu Shan. After being dumbfounded for a full 3 minutes, Zhang Wenyong finally came back to his senses. His face was filled with disbelief. He never expected that he would lose a sure-win situation. How could Ning Yu cure Lu Shan? He released his soul power and carefully checked the condition of Lu Shan's body, hoping to find a trace of the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill. But very soon, he was disappointed because the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill in Lu Shan's body had indeed been expelled completely. Not even a strand of hair was left. Thank you. 300 high-grade essence crystals, a storage bag, and a jade bangle. Ning Yu was in a very good mood. It could be said that he was extremely happy. Zhang Wenyong was really his lucky star. Zhang Wenyong gave him 100 high-grade essence crystals first, and still felt that it was not enough. Zhang Wenyong wanted to give him another 300 high-grade essence crystals, a storage bag, and a jade bangle. Ning Yu definitely had to thank such a good person. Chapter 41. Zhang Wenyong couldn't hold it in any longer. He spat out a mouthful of blood, his face contorted. Today was the worst day of his life. First, he lost to Ning Yu 100 upper-grade yuan crystals. Then he lost 300 yuan crystals, a storage pouch, and a jade bangle. He could give up on the yuan crystals and the storage pouch, but he had to get the jade bangle back. Ning Yu, since you like gambling so much, let's have another round. Zhang Wenyong said in a low voice, You still have yuan crystals and a storage pouch? Ning Yu asked, I'm not going to bet those things with you. Let's bet our lives. Zhang Wenyong gritted his teeth. A week later, we'll fight to the death outside Dan Dragon Valley. Do you dare? Shaking his head, Ning Yu said, My life is more precious than yours. I'll lose a lot if I bet with you. So I'm not betting. You, pointing at Ning Yu, Zhang Wenyong gritted his teeth. If not for Wu Yong, he would have killed Ningyu long ago. Ning, you wouldn't have been able to act so arrogantly here. If today's incident got out, how could he, Zhang Wenyong, survive in the capital? Moreover, he was about to enter Danwu College. If this incident got out, he would become the laughingstock of many students in Danwu College. Therefore, he had to get back at him. Ningyu, it's fine if you don't want to bet, but that jade bangle was given to me by my father. How about I redeem it with 1,000 upper-grade yuan crystals? Zhang Wenyong said, suppressing his anger. No need. I like this jade bangle very much. Moreover, I have 400 upper-grade yuan crystals now. It's enough for me to cultivate for a long time, Ningyu said. After that, Ningyu cupped his hands at Wu Yong and said, Brother Wu, I have something to do today. I'll take my leave for now. I'll visit another day when I have time. Seeing that Ningyu was about to leave, Zhang Wenyong panicked. The jade bangle couldn't be lost. Otherwise, his father would kill him. Ningyu, a top-grade, profound-rank magic treasure. Making up his mind, Zhang Wenyong said, a week later, we will fight at the outskirts of Pill Dragon Valley. I'll take out a top-grade mystic rank magic weapon as the wager. As for you, you don't need anything else. Just the jade bracelet will do. Ningyu rolled his eyes and said, a top-grade mystic artifact. Not bad. I guess I'll just make do. Zhang Wenyong's eyes lit up as he hurriedly asked, Does that mean that you agree to it? In Zhang Wenyong's opinion, as long as Ningyu dared to agree to fight with him, he would definitely make Ningyu suffer the consequences. Zhang Wenyong was 100% sure that he could kill a mere Hotian middle-stage warrior. Since you insist on giving me a top-grade, profound, rank magic treasure, if I don't accept it, then I'd be letting you down. Ningyu spoke seriously, as if the top-grade, profound, rank magic treasure was already his. All right, as expected, he had courage. 1 week later, at the outskirts of Pill Dragon Valley. See you there. Without leaving behind any harsh words, Zhang Wenyong and Ji Feng left the first sky booth together. Sigh, Ningyu, you're too impulsive this time. In the room, Wu Yong sighed and said, Zhang Wenyong's cultivation level is at the peak of the Hotian stage. He's very strong. Moreover, Zhang Wenyong is an alchemist. His soul power is very strong. It's said that he has cultivated a type of soul attack spell. He has already achieved initial success. Soul attack spell. Frowning slightly, Ningyu was a little surprised. Soul attack spell was not only precious, but also extremely difficult to cultivate. Zhang Wenyong could cultivate a soul attack spell to initial success. No matter what grade the spell was, it was something to be proud of. Even without using a soul attack spell, Zhang Wenyong's strength is not to be underestimated. If I hadn't advanced to the early stage of the Xiantian stage, I wouldn't dare to say that I could suppress Zhang Wenyong. Once Zhang Wenyong advances to the early stage of the Xiantian stage, our strength will be on par. Zhang Wenyong wants to use a soul attack spell to get into the top 30 in the Danwu College's assessment. Since he wants to fight with you, he will definitely use it when the time comes. Looking at Ningyu, Wu Yong tried to persuade him, when the time comes, you and I will fight together. As long as the powerful warriors of the Zhang family don't interfere, I can protect you. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu said to Wu Yong in a serious tone, Brother Wu, thank you for your kindness. Since I have agreed to fight with Zhang Wenyong, I will definitely fight with him. Otherwise, even if I get into the Danwu College, I will always be threatened by him. That's right. I can see that you are not weak. Anyway, there is still a week left. You can use this time to cultivate. Nodding, Wu Yong said, If Zhang Wenyong hasn't reached the Xiantian stage in a week, you still have a chance of winning. Actually, Wu Yong was very confident in Ningyu. Ningyu had blocked Song Fei's all-out attack, and he still looked like nothing had happened. From this, one could tell that Ningyu was very strong. Now that he had obtained 400 high-rank yuan crystals, it was very likely that his cultivation would improve again. If Zhang Wenyong hadn't reached the Xiantian stage in a week, Ningyu had a 50% chance of winning. "Brother Wu, I will go back first. I will visit another day," Ningyu said. Then Ningyu turned around and left the number 1 private room. "Young master, isn't this Ningyu too arrogant?" He actually agreed to fight with Zhang Wenyong. After Ningyu left, the skinny man frowned and said, "It's not that he is arrogant, it's that he has no other choice." Zhang Wenyong said, if he doesn't agree to fight with Zhang Wenyong will definitely make a move on his family. If he agrees to fight with Zhang Wenyong, he can guarantee his family's safety for a week. The Supreme Pavilion. "Elder Guan, the young man that you like is really good at stirring up trouble." Xiao Yunlan smiled bitterly. "How is this stirring up trouble? He has no choice. He has no choice. Do you understand?" Elder Guan was not worried at all. "But, Elder Guan, do you really think that Ningyu can defeat Zhang Wenyong?" Although Ningyu blocked Song Fei's full power attack, Xiao Yunlan still didn't think that he could defeat Zhang Wenyong. Even if he wins by luck, the Zhang family will not let him go. "You're right. It looks like we have to teach the Zhang clan a lesson. A fight between the younger generation should be left to the younger generation." Elder Guan's face turned cold, and he said in a deep voice, "If the older generation of the Zhang family dares to interfere, I don't mind standing behind Ningyu and supporting him." In the Supreme Pavilion, Ningyu didn't know about the conversation between Elder Guan and Xiao Yunlan. After leaving the drunken Cloud Inn, it was already evening. Ningyu rushed home without stopping. The 400 yuan crystals that he won today, Ningyu didn't care too much about it. The thing that surprised him the most was the jade bracelet. "Not bad. I didn't expect Zhang Wenyong to have such a good treasure. No wonder he was willing to use a mystic-class treasure to exchange for it." Playing with the jade bracelet, Ningyu mumbled, "Swoosh! Swoosh!" Right at this moment, 2 shadows flashed by and dashed towards Ningyu from the left and right. Not good. Putting the jade bracelet into his storage pouch, Ningyu stomped on the ground and quickly retreated. Releasing his soul perception, Ningyu's heart sank. Chapter 42. Although he knew that his opponents were 2 warriors at the peak of the post-liminary realm, Ningyu did not choose to sit still and wait for death. Instead, he secretly activated the spirit transformation technique, gathered his primordial chi on his wrist, and punched out twice. Bang! Bang! In the next moment, 2 muffled sounds came out. The 2 peak post-liminary realm warriors stopped where they were and did not continue to attack. On the other hand, Ningyu took a few steps back before he could stabilize his body. The powerful hidden energy that came from his fists made his face very ugly. The information was wrong. His cultivation has reached the middle stage of the post-liminary realm. One of the tall men in black said gloomily. On his back, there was a blue longbow and 3 cloud-shocking arrows. His whole body was emitting a cold, murderous aura. The other fat man in black sneered and said, "The middle stage of the post-liminary realm is nothing. The 2 of us have once killed an early-stage post-liminary realm warrior. Hurry up! I feel that there is a strong warrior coming this way." The tall man in black took out a cloud-shocking arrow, knocked it on the bowstring, and shot it at Ningyu. Shio! The cloud-shocking arrow flew out at an extremely fast speed, and in the blink of an eye, it appeared in front of Ningyu's chest. "Break for me!" Enduring the waves of hidden energy that came from his fists, Ningyu's hands quickly swept out, and in the blink of an eye, he caught the cloud-shocking arrow. With just a little bit of force, the cloud-shocking arrow was broken. Although the cloud-shocking arrow was fast, in front of Ningyu's super strong soul perception, it was like a baby's fist, extremely slow. What? The tall man in black's expression changed. He did not expect that Ning Yu's reaction would be so fast, and that even the cloud-shocking arrow could not do anything to him. "Let's attack together." After exchanging a look with the fat man in black, the two of them immediately jumped up, wanting to fight with Ning Yu in close combat. Bone-breaking palm. The tall man in black's body was filled with yuan qi, and a layer of green gas appeared on the surface of his skin. He opened his palm and punched out. Heart-digging fist. The short and stout man in black bent his body slightly, and his fists were like black tigers digging out their hearts, pointing straight at Ning Yu's chest. Ning Yu's eyes narrowed, and the yuan qi in his body began to circulate wildly. A huge palm print quickly appeared in front of him. Netherworld samsara palm, absolute dust. With a low shout, Ning Yu continued to pour his soul strength into the illusory palm print. When the palm print had grown to a certain size, Ning Yu threw a palm strike at the two black-clothed men. Boom! Boom! The illusory palm print collided with the fists of the two men in black. 3 forces, 2 against 1. Puchi! Ning Yu was sent flying by this force and crashed heavily into the ground. The two men in black had their hands struck by the illusory palm print. If they had not activated their yuan qi in time to resist, their hands would have been crippled. Xiu! Xiu! However, what they didn't notice was that when the illusory palm print shattered, 2 extremely fine strands of soul power entered their bodies through their palms. Who are you? Why did you attack me? While absorbing the yuan qi in the crystals, Ning Yu asked, "Did Zhang Wenyong send you?" "What Zhang Wenyong? It's Lin," the tall man in black said. However, before he finished his sentence, the short and stout man in black interrupted him and said coldly, "Trying to get information from us? You're still a little too inexperienced." "Is that so?" The corner of Ning Yu's mouth curled up, and he quietly placed his right hand behind his back. In his hand there were several elixirs. In-corpse lightning pill. "Go!" The tall man in black roared and struck out with his palm. Waves of black gas swept out from his hand and pressed down on Ning Yu's head. "Give me your life." The short and stout man in black was also infuriated. Originally, with their strength, killing Ning Yu should be a piece of cake. Who would have thought that they couldn't even take him down in 2 moves? If this news were to spread, how could they keep a foothold in the assassination pavilion? The short and stout man in black made up his mind. After killing Ning Yu, he would chop off his head and hang it on the city walls of Tianqian City. Only then could he resolve the hatred in his heart. "Go!" Just as the 2 men in black were about to attack him, Ning Yu's right hand suddenly stretched out from his back. He spread his fingers and used all his strength to throw the in-corpse lightning pill at the 2 men in black. Transcendent grade Guyuan pill? Similar to Lin Feng's reaction, the 2 men in black were momentarily stunned. While the 2 men in black were stunned, Ning Yu moved his soul power. Immediately, the 2 strands of soul power hidden in their bodies exploded. Ah! The soul power explosion had a huge impact on the 2 men in black. The pain that came from the depths of their souls caused their expressions to change drastically. Bean-sized beads of sweat dripped down their foreheads. In-corpse lightning pill, explode for me. At this moment, Ning Yu triggered the soul power in the in-corpse lightning pill, causing the dozens of corpse lightning pills to explode. After the corpse lightning pills exploded, the in-corpse chi inside quietly entered the bodies of the 2 men in black. Because their souls were being suppressed by Ning Yu, they couldn't divert their attention to resist the in-corpse chi. This caused the in-corpse chi to wreak havoc in their bodies. Die! Ning, you wouldn't give them the chance. He rose from the ground and sent out several punches, all of which landed on the heads of the men in black. One after another, the 2 black-robed men were beheaded in a daze just like that. "Let me see who you are." Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu wanted to check the identity of the men in black. However, his expression changed. He tapped the ground with his feet and disappeared in a breath. Swoosh! Swoosh! Not long after Ning Yu disappeared, two figures appeared. One of them squatted down in front of the man in black. He frowned and said, "In Corpse Chi, could it be people from the Corpse sect?" "Elder Guan, these two are iron plate assassins from the Assassination Pavilion. The Corpse sect has a good relationship with the Assassination Pavilion, so they shouldn't kill people from the Assassination Pavilion." Xiao Yunlan was also a bit surprised, but she didn't believe that it was people from the Corpse sect. Elder Guan said it shouldn't be wrong. Aside from the Corpse sect, no one can control In Corpse Chi. As a higher-up of Danwu College, Elder Guan had dealt with the Corpse sect a lot. He naturally knew that, aside from the Corpse sect, very few people could control In Corpse Chi. This aura, why do I feel a bit familiar? Elder Guan was a bit puzzled. From the scene, he felt a trace of a familiar aura. However, no matter how hard he thought, he couldn't think of where he had felt it before. The reason why he didn't notice the In Corpse Chi at the mysterious Heaven Square was because Ning Yu only used one corpse lightning pill. In addition, the smell of the poison-devouring powder almost covered the smell of the In Corpse Chi, so it was reasonable that Elder Guan didn't notice it. But now, Ning Yu detonated more than a dozen corpse lightning pills at once. With Elder Guan's soul perception, he naturally could easily detect it. I didn't expect the opening of a small fifth-grade alchemist's cave to attract people from the Corpse sect. Frowning, Elder Guan said, "This won't do. I have to inform the leader of Danwu College to be careful." This time Danwu College also sent 20 students to train in the Pill Dragon Valley. Chapter 43. In the evening, Ning Yu carefully returned home. Taking out a high-grade yuan crystal from his storage bag, Ning Yu activated the spiritual art and started to absorb it slowly. Today, Ning Yu had taken on Song Fei's full power attack. Although it looked like nothing had happened, his real battle strength had decreased by 50%. In addition, he had killed 2 black-clothed martial artists, causing his injuries to worsen. Fortunately, the black-clothed martial artists were only at the peak of the post-liminary realm. If they were Xiantian realm martial artists, Ning Yu would have been decapitated. Phew! About 2 hours later, Ning Yu let out a long breath. Looking at the crystal-clear, high-grade origin crystal in his hand, he murmured, "It seems that I have to cultivate the second stage of the spiritualization technique. Otherwise, the absorption of origin chi will be too slow." The spiritual art had a total of 10 levels. Each level had a different speed of absorbing yuan chi. In the end, it would increase exponentially. Ning Yu never did things sloppily. He immediately put down the crystal in his hand and started to cultivate according to the second level of the spiritual art. Although Ning Yu had cultivated the spiritual art to the 8th level in his previous life, he could still feel the profoundness of the mantra when cultivating again. The first level of the spiritual art was the most basic. With Ning Yu's memory, there was no need to cultivate at all. From the second level onwards, he would have to cultivate again. Naturally, the speed would be much slower. However, compared to others, Ning Yu's speed of cultivating the spiritual art was much faster. After all, he had the experience from his previous life. 2 hours later, Ning Yu had cultivated the second level of the spiritual art to the beginner level. 4 hours later, he had achieved initial success. 6 hours later, he had cultivated to the great success stage. The spiritual art is indeed profound. Even with my comprehension ability, I still need half a day to cultivate it. Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu picked up the high-grade yuan crystal on the table. He activated the spiritual art and started to absorb the yuan chi. This time, the yuan chi in the high-grade yuan crystal was decreasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Crack! 2 hours later, a cracking sound rang out. The high-grade essence crystal in Ning Yu's hand completely shattered. Not bad. Not only have my injuries healed, but I've also reached the peak of the middle stage of the Hotian realm. At this rate, I should be able to advance to the late stage of the Hotian realm in a week. Ningyu nodded as he felt the cyclone in his sea of consciousness growing larger. With a flick of his wrist, a jade bangle appeared in his hand. Looking at the jade bracelet, Ningyu's eyes revealed an undisguised passion. Zhang Wenyong actually has such a good treasure. I've really lucked out this time. With a thought, Ningyu released a strand of his soul power into the jade bangle. Hiss! However, just as his soul power came into contact with the jade bracelet, he felt a heart-wrenching pain. Then his soul power was actually swallowed by the jade bracelet. Not bad, not bad. It is indeed a good treasure. Despite having his soul energy devoured, Ningyu did not feel upset. Instead, he smiled and said, "It really is the devouring jade bracelet. It has devoured quite a lot of soul energy." The so-called devouring jade bracelet, as its name suggested, was a jade bracelet that could devour soul energy. If a careless martial artist tried to probe the situation inside the jade bracelet without knowing what was going on, their soul energy would definitely be devoured. Right now, my soul energy has reached the early stage of the 3rd grade. As long as I refine the soul energy in this jade bracelet, I will definitely reach the peak of the 3rd grade. In the next moment, Ningyu released another 2 strands of soul energy and carefully approached the jade bracelet. Because he was prepared, Ningyu's soul energy was not devoured this time. Instead, it quietly attached itself to the jade bracelet. Soul-locking spell. Raising his eyebrows, Ningyu was a little shocked. Humph! Elementary soul-locking spell. Break for me. With a cold snort, for strands of soul energy rushed out of Ningyu's body and rushed towards the jade bracelet. Pum! Not long after, a muffled sound came from the jade bracelet. Then Ningyu's strands of soul energy completely entered the jade bracelet. The devouring jade bracelet had one benefit. It could refine soul energy and turn it into pure soul energy. With a thought, Ningyu controlled his soul energy and guided all the soul energy out of the jade bracelet and into his body. Buzz! As soon as the soul energy entered his body, Ningyu felt a buzzing sound coming from his head. Immediately, he sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate. Devouring soul energy was dangerous. Even though it was pure soul energy, Ningyu did not dare to be careless. Pum! After devouring for a full 2 hours, a muffled sound came from his body. Ningyu stood up with a swoosh, his eyes shining brightly. Boom! His soul energy surged out of his body and was quickly suppressed by Ningyu. The strength of my soul energy has indeed reached the peak of the 3rd grade. Now, it is not difficult for me to concoct 3rd grade dawn. Feeling the increase in his soul energy, Ningyu nodded to himself. His alchemy experience was still there. As long as his soul energy recovered, he would be able to concoct the same grade of dawn. Netherworld, Samsara Palm. Since his soul energy had increased to the peak of the 3rd grade, Ningyu naturally would not sit around and do nothing. Instead, he began to cultivate the Netherworld Samsara Palm. The Netherworld Samsara Palm was a soul attack. Its strength was not in martial arts, but in soul attacks. Ningyu had already successfully cultivated the first palm, Absolute Dust. Now that his soul energy had reached the peak of the 3rd grade, he could cultivate the second palm, Lonely Names. If Absolute Dust was a combination of martial arts and soul attack, then the second palm, Lonely Names, would be a complete soul attack. Forming a seal with his 5 fingers, the soul energy in his body circulated wildly and gathered on his palm. Go! With a low shout, 1/10 of the soul energy in his body transformed into an illusory palm and shot out. Sha-sha! As the palm shot out, the air rustled. In the end, it turned into nothingness and disappeared in front of the wall. Not bad. If I use my full strength to execute the second palm, Lonely names. I should be able to condense a physical poem. Ning Yu nodded his head. He was very satisfied with the power of the second poem. If he were to fight with Song Fei now, Ning Yu was confident that he could block 3 of his full strength attacks. Moreover, after executing the Lonely Names poem, he had a 50% chance of escaping from Song Fei. Of course, that was only limited to escaping. If he wanted to thoroughly defeat Song Fei, Ningyu knew that he had to cultivate to the late stage of the Hotian realm, or even the peak of the Hotian realm. After all, there was a gap between the Xiantian realm and the Hotian realm that was difficult for martial artists to cross. Keeping the devouring jade bangle, Ningyu decided to make a trip to the Snow Pavilion to buy some medicinal ingredients to concoct the 3rd-grade soul solidifying pill. Ningyu knew that he could cultivate to the late stage of the Hotian realm in a week by relying on the spirit transformation method. However, he did not want to wait that long. The current situation did not allow him to wait that long, not to mention the battle with Zhang Wenyong. Just the fact that he was surrounded by the black-clothed martial artists the day before made Ning Yu realize the seriousness of the situation. In addition, there was the corpse-sex barbarian Corpse King hidden in the dark, and the Drunken Cloud Pavilion's Pavilion Master Song Fei that he had offended. All of them were hard to deal with. Therefore, he had to find a way to cultivate to the late stage of the Hotian realm, or even the Xiantian realm. Chapter 44. Because he had spent a lot of time cultivating, it was already noon when Ningyu arrived at Snow Domain Pavilion. This time, Ningyu did not disguise himself. After all, Elder Amo and Lu Wei already knew his identity. There was no point in hiding anymore. Young Master Ning, welcome. As soon as he entered Snow Domain Pavilion, Lu Wei greeted him with a smile. What brings you here today? Nothing much. I just want to buy some herbs. Ningyu said directly, Give me 10 sets of herbs for the soul solidifying pill. Soul solidifying pill? Hearing this, Lu Wei frowned slightly, a little dazed. She knew that the soul solidifying pill was a 3rd-grade pill, and it was one of the best among the 3rd-grade pills. Unless one was a peak 3rd-grade alchemist, it would be difficult to successfully refine it. Could it be that Ning Yu had reached the peak of the 3rd-grade alchemist? Thinking of this, the way Lu Wei looked at Ning Yu was a little strange. This was too abnormal. How was she supposed to live? Why, you don't have it. Seeing Lu Wei's reaction, Ning Yu was a little depressed. The herbs for the soul solidifying pill were not too precious, so it was impossible for Snow Domain Pavilion not to have it. Yes. After recovering, Lu Wei's face showed a difficult expression and said, But the illusionary cloud beast's core is temporarily sold out. It will take 3 days for it to arrive. Ning Yu was a little disappointed because the illusionary cloud beast core was the main ingredient for the soul solidifying pill. He could find substitutes for the other herbs, but not the core. Ning Yu, if you really want it, you can try your luck at the Alchemy Union. Maybe they have it in stock. Seeing Ning Yu's disappointed look, Lu Wei said, Moreover, you don't have an alchemist badge yet, right? Why don't you make use of this opportunity to take the examination and obtain a 2nd-tier apothecary emblem? It will be of great help to you when you enter Danwu College. You might even be able to make an exception and enter the college. A 2nd-grade alchemist can enter Danwu College as an exception? Ning Yu was puzzled. Every genius alchemist's time is very precious. How could they take part in the Danwu College's assessment with those martial artists? Lu Wei explained, Actually, most of the people who pass the assessment to enter Danwu College are martial artists. Alchemists who are slightly more powerful have all been recruited into the college. With your talent, you will definitely be able to enter Danwu College as an exception. Of course, the prerequisite is that you must have a 2nd-grade badge issued by the Alchemy Guild. However, I don't recommend that you make an exception and enter Danwu College. I heard that the reward for the 1st place in the Danwu College's assessment this time is very generous. Therefore, many geniuses who can make an exception and enter the college choose to participate in the assessment in order to obtain the first place. What's the reward for the first place? Ningyu asked without batting an eyelid. I don't know yet. However, I heard that the reward this time is the most generous since the establishment of Dongwu College. Shaking her head, Lu Wei replied, Let's go to the Alchemy Guild and see if there are any illusory cloud beast cores. To Ningyu, the reward for the first place in the Dongwu College's assessment was still very far away. At the very least, he wouldn't be of much help at this stage. If he wanted to raise his cultivation in a short period of time, he had to concoct the core condensing pill. He had to break through to the Hotian advanced stage as soon as possible. After leaving Snow Domain Pavilion, Ningyu and Lu Wei headed to the Alchemy Guild together. Along the way, Ningyu found out that Elder Hiroshi was in seclusion, working hard to become a fourth-grade alchemist. The moment Elder Hiroshi succeeded in becoming a fourth-grade alchemist, it would be a huge matter for Snow Domain Pavilion. At that time, he would definitely be summoned back to the capital and a grand banquet would be held. The Alchemy Guild could be found all over the continent. As for who the founder was, even Ningyu in his previous life had no idea. Most likely, the founder had already surpassed the limits of a Jizuan realm cultivator. Tianjin City's Alchemy Guild was just a few streets away from Snow Domain Pavilion. Ningyu and Lu Wei arrived at the location very quickly. Inside the Alchemy Guild, a dozen young men were queuing up to register, seemingly intending to take the alchemist examination. Welcome to the Alchemy Guild. Upon seeing Ningyu and Lu Wei enter, a lady in her 20s walked up and said, May I know how I can help you? We want to purchase the illusory cloud beast core. Lu Wei went straight to the point and said, Illusory cloud beast core? Lanchi's mouth was slightly agape. Her expression was a little exaggerated. The illusory cloud beast was a third-grade demonic beast. Even a dozen Xiantian realm cultivators might not be a match for it. In order to kill the illusory cloud beast, only a large number of Xiantian realm cultivators or true martial realm cultivators would be able to kill it and obtain its core. From this, it could be seen how precious the illusory cloud beast core was. The market price of the illusory cloud beast core was already at 10,000 low-grade essence crystals. Looking at Lu Wei carefully, Lanchi asked again, Are you sure you want to purchase the core? As long as there is an illusory cloud beast core, I will buy as many as you have, Ningyu said. Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue? Do you really think that you have a crystal mine at home? That's right. An illusory cloud beast core is worth 10,000 low-grade essence crystals. Even a second-grade alchemist might not be able to take it out. Who knows, maybe he's the young master of some big family and is just trying to win the smile of a beauty. Ha ha ha. Most of these people who came to take the alchemy examination had just returned from the magical Beast Mountain Range. They did not know of Ningyu's ferocious deeds. If they knew that Ningyu had killed Lin Feng, they would probably not dare to say such words. Lanchi, what are you doing? Suddenly, a man dressed in black walked over. There was a round badge on his shoulder with a star on it. The people who came to take the alchemy examination looked at the man with respect. Their faces were filled with envy. Most of them were looking at the badge on the man's shoulder because it meant that the man was a first-grade alchemist. Most of these people who came to take the alchemy examination were high-level alchemy apprentices. There were a few who came to take the first-grade alchemist examination. They worshipped those who could become first-grade alchemists. Turning around, Lanchi looked at the man in black and said respectfully, Grandmaster Ma, these two want to purchase the core of the illusory cloud beast. You want to purchase the core of the illusory cloud beast? Casually scanning Ningyu with his sole power, Grandmaster Ma frowned and said, The core of the illusory cloud beast is expensive. Why do you want to buy it? After his soul power had reached the peak of third grade, Ningyu could control it freely. Unless he wanted to, no one would be able to sense the strength of his soul power. Although he was disgusted by Grandmaster Ma's tone, Ningyu did not get angry. Instead, he said calmly, "I naturally have a use for it. I don't think I need to tell you, right?" "Humph. Even if you don't tell me, I know. The core of the illusory cloud beast is the main ingredient for refining third-grade soul solidifying pills. You must be overestimating yourself by buying it to refine soul solidifying pills." Chapter 45. Swoosh! Ningyu's face turned gloomy when he heard what Master Ma said. Is there something wrong with this Master Ma? I did not offend him. Why is he picking on me? Master Ma, I don't think you are in charge of the Alchemy Union. Lu Wei's face darkened as well. A mere first-grade alchemist dares to be so arrogant in front of me? I can tolerate it, but I can't. One must know that she was a second-tier pill master, but she was afraid of causing unnecessary trouble, so she did not wear the 2-star badge on her shoulder. If she were to wear the badge on her shoulder, this Master Ma would not dare to talk to them like this. Where did you come from, little girl? I am very busy now, and I have no time to talk nonsense with you. Ignoring Lu Ni's words, Master Ma said to the people queuing up, those who have registered, "Go and have your soul strength tested. Those who have not reached half a star will not need to participate in the alchemist assessment. Lan, go and bring the soul power ball over." Damn it! Lu Wei shouted angrily. Wait. Ningyu winked at Lu Xuan, telling her not to get angry and to wait and see. If it was not for Ningyu, Lu Wei would have lost her temper and would not allow Master Ma to be so arrogant. In the capital, even a third-grade alchemist would not dare to talk to her like this, let alone a first-grade alchemist. She did not expect to be laughed at by a first-grade alchemist in the small Tianqian City Alchemy Union. Hearing this, she turned and left. Moments later, she returned with a light ball the size of a head in her hand. Looking closely, there were 3 stars on the light ball. Let me go first. A tall and muscular man stepped forward and placed his palm on the light ball. Traces of soul power entered the light ball through his palm. As the soul power entered the light ball, the first star on the light ball lit up. However, the first star was not completely lit up. Only 1/3 of it was lit up. Unqualified. Next. Master Ma said coldly. The tall and muscular man left dejectedly. Then, a skinny man stepped forward and placed his palm on the light ball. Buzz. Before long, a star on the ball of light completely lit up. 1 star. He actually lit up a star. His soul power has reached the first grade. He's not even 20 years old, right? The strength of his soul force has already reached the first grade. There is a high possibility that he can refine the first grade Qi gathering pill and become a true first-grade alchemist. When the surrounding people saw the skinny man, their gazes changed. They were filled with admiration. Not bad, not bad. You actually lit up a star. I have only lit up 1.5 stars. You have a great chance of becoming a grade 1 alchemist. Master Ma nodded his head. His tone was much better now that the skinny man could become a grade 1 alchemist. Thank you, Grandmaster Ma. After bowing to Grandmaster Ma, the skinny man took a step back and stood at the side. The thin man had reached the standard, and the others were very excited. Unfortunately, out of the next dozen people, only 3 of them managed to light up half a star. The rest only managed to light up 1/3 of their stars. Why are you guys still standing there? I have already said that as long as I am in the Alchemy Union, you guys can forget about buying an illusionary Cloud Beast's core. Grandmaster Ma said unhappily when he saw that Ningyu and Lu Wei had not left. If I remember correctly, there is a President Zhou in the Alchemy Union, right? With President Zhou around, do you think you can make the decision? Ningyu said indifferently. President Zhou is busy and is not around. I, Stable, have the final say in the alchemy union. Stable snorted. Stable. There is someone with this name? After cursing in his heart, Ning Yu said calmly, Actually, we have no intention of disrespecting you. We just want to buy an illusionary cloud beast's core. How about this? One illusionary cloud beast's core is worth 10,000 low-grade yuan crystals. I will buy it with one high-grade yuan crystal. How about it? One high-grade yuan crystal. Stable's heart skipped a beat. Although the illusionary cloud beast's core was worth 10,000 low-grade yuan crystals, which was equivalent to one high-grade yuan crystal, he was very clear that no one would be willing to exchange one high-grade yuan crystal for 10,000 low-grade yuan crystals, unless that person was a fool. The benefits of high-grade yuan crystals for cultivation far exceeded that of low-grade yuan crystals. Since you guys insist on buying an illusionary cloud beast's core, it is not impossible. Stable rolled his eyes and opened his mouth. Right now, the Alchemy Union still has 3 illusionary cloud beast cores. As long as you can take out 30 high-grade yuan crystals, they are yours. 10 high-grade yuan crystals for an illusionary cloud beast core? Why don't you just rob someone? Lu Wei was very angry. Stable was clearly extorting them. Ningyu, let's go. In 3 days, the Snow Domain Pavilion will ship the illusionary cloud beast's core over. Why waste money here? Lu Wei said angrily. With a flick of his wrist, 10 high-grade yuan crystals appeared in his hand. Ningyu said indifferently, Let's take a look at the quality of the illusionary cloud beast's core first. As long as the quality is good, the yuan crystals are not a problem. All right, you guys wait here. I will be back soon. Stable's eyes lit up, and he immediately turned around and left. High-grade yuan crystals? Who exactly is he? He took out 10 high-grade yuan crystals without even blinking an eye. Who is he? He must be the young master of some clan. Otherwise, why would he take out 10 high-grade yuan crystals without even blinking an eye? Sigh, I was tricked by Grandmaster Ma. An illusionary cloud beast's core is not worth 10 high-grade yuan crystals. Ningyu, it's not like you don't know the price of an illusionary cloud beast's core. Exchanging 10 high-grade yuan crystals for one core is too much of a loss. Lu Wei complained. The market price of a condensing essence pill is about 40 high-grade yuan crystals. With so many yuan crystals, why don't you buy a condensing essence pill? Ningyu smiled and did not say anything. The market price of a condensing essence pill was indeed 40 high-grade yuan crystals. However, that was only the price of an ordinary low-grade condensing essence pill. A mid-grade condensing essence pill was worth 100 high-grade yuan crystals. A high-grade condensing essence pill was worth 300 high-grade yuan crystals. A supreme condensing essence pill was worth a terrifying 1,000 high-grade yuan crystals. If he wanted the best, Ningyu would not choose a low-grade condensing essence pill. He wanted to personally refine a supreme condensing essence pill and break through to the late stage of the Hotian realm. 10 minutes later, the stable master carefully walked towards Ningyu with a jade box in his hand. Stable, don't you dare lie to me. Otherwise, I will make you suffer. Beside the stable, a middle-aged man frowned slightly. His face was slightly pale. How would I dare to lie to you? There are indeed people who are willing to spend 10 high-grade yuan crystals to buy an illusionary cloud beast's core. They are 2 young people, a man and a woman. The stable master said flatteringly, How can I make the decision for such an important matter? Hence, I asked you to come out and take charge of the situation. Not bad. At least you know what's good for you. The middle-aged man grunted softly and looked towards Ningyu and Lu Wei. With one look, the middle-aged man was slightly stunned. His eyes widened and his face was filled with disbelief. Pah! Chapter 46. After being slapped by the middle-aged man, the stable was stunned and only managed to stabilize himself after retreating a few meters. Holding the jade box tightly, the stable didn't dare to let go because there were 3 illusory cloud beast cores inside. If anything happened, he wouldn't be able to pay for it. "Master Lu, what's wrong? Is there a problem?" The stable asked carefully after stabilizing himself. "What's wrong?" "There's a big problem." Lu Shan flew into a rage and kicked the stable. "Hurry up and apologize. If you don't satisfy young Master Ning today, I'll skin you alive." Young Master Ning. Who is young Master Ning? The stable was only in the middle stage of the post-liminary realm, while Lu Shan was at the peak of the post-liminary realm. Lu Shan was infuriated. He raised his right leg and wanted to kick the stable again. At this time, Ningyu spoke. "All right, there's no need for that. Here are 30 high-grade origin crystals. Give me the cores." Lu Shan patted his chest and said, "Young Master Ning, you are flattering me. Take these 3 illusionary cloud beast inner cores as a gift from me to repay you for saving my life." He had always been grateful to Ningyu for curing his illness, but he didn't know how to repay him. If it wasn't for Ningyu, he would have died long ago. How could he become an elder of the Alchemy Union? Who is he? Why is Lu Shan so respectful to him? Young Master Ning? There's one surnamed Ning among the 4 major families in Tianqian City. Could it be he's Ningyu? Ningyu. Yes, he is Ningyu. 3 days ago, he refined a first-grade medicinal pill, the Qi Gathering Pill. At that time, Lu Shan personally inspected it, and its quality reached the transcendent grade. Someone who knew Ningyu cried out in surprise. Whoosh! This person's words caused an uproar in the Alchemy Union. Those who mocked Ningyu because they didn't recognize him just now didn't even dare to breathe loudly. They were afraid that Ningyu would find trouble with them. They were not the stables. Even if they were the stables, weren't they being taught a lesson by Lu Shan? Not to mention them. As long as Ningyu made trouble for them, they would not be able to walk away unscathed. Xiu! With a flick of his finger, 3 high-grade origin crystals flew towards Lu Shan. "Lu Shan, I won't let you suffer a loss. Here are 3 upper-grade origin crystals to buy 3 illusionary cloud beast cores." Ningyu knew that Lu Shan definitely didn't have that many upper-grade origin crystals on him, so he didn't make things difficult for him. Although he had saved Lu Shan's life, Lu Shan had also helped him win a lot of benefits from Zhang Wenyong. They did not owe each other anything. "Hurry up and hand over the illusory cloud beast's inner core." Grabbing the high-tier origin crystal, the stable master was just about to berate Ningyu when he suddenly recalled something. He hurriedly took the jade box from the stable master and respectfully passed it over to Ningyu. After receiving the 3 illusionary cloud beasts' inner cores, Ningyu said, "Lu Shan, I want to take the test for a 2nd-grade alchemist." Through the stable master's attitude towards him just now, Ningyu knew that sometimes those without status were destined to be looked down upon by others. Most alchemists were prideful. The only thing that could make them yield, other than having a high cultivation base, was to suppress them in alchemy. Therefore, Ningyu decided to take the test for a 2nd-grade alchemist. With the identity of a 2nd-grade alchemist, no matter which alchemy union he went to, he would be treated very well. Hearing this, Lu Shan's expression turned ugly. He said, "Young Master Ning, the 2nd-grade alchemist must be personally tested by President Zhou. I don't have that ability yet. I can only take the test for a 1st-grade alchemist." Lu Shan was only a 2nd-grade alchemist, and he advanced with the help of the soul-devouring pill. He was not qualified to host the test for a 2nd-grade alchemist. In profound Sky City, only President Zhou had the right to host the test. This was because President Zhou was a 3rd-grade alchemist, a late-stage 3rd-grade alchemist. "Young Master Ning, how about this? I will give you a 1st-grade alchemist badge first." When President Zhou returns, I will inform you immediately. Without waiting for Ning Yu's reply, Lu Shan hurriedly signaled to the stable master with his eyes. The stable master understood and hurriedly took out a 1-star badge and presented it to Ning Yu with both hands. Taking the badge, Ning Yu casually put it in his pocket and said, Lu Shan, the soul force in your body is still not very stable. It's best if you don't refine any medicinal pills for the next month. Since Lu Shan had helped him, Ning Yu did not mind giving him some advice. Also, find a way to buy a few second-grade medicinal pills, the cold fragrance pill. Take one every week. After a month, your soul force will more or less stabilize at the 2nd grade. Finished speaking, Ning Yu and Lu Wei turned around and left the alchemy union together. Thank you, young Master Ning. Lu Shan was overjoyed and bowed deeply to Ning Yu and Lu Wei's back. He had seen Ning Yu's strength. Not only was his martial arts cultivation able to withstand Song Fei's full blow, but his alchemy talent was also very strong. He was probably a late-stage, 2nd grade alchemist by now. Ning Yu, Lu Shan is a 2nd grade alchemist. Why is he so respectful to you? On the way back, Lu Wei was a little puzzled. It's nothing. My master helped him once before. Ning Yu did not want to talk about Lu Shan too much. Instead, he quickened his pace and rushed towards Snow Domain Pavilion. The reason why he chose to go to Snow Domain Pavilion was because Ning Yu had carefully considered it. Refining the soul condensing pill at home was not safe. It might even attract the attention of others. It would not be possible to refine it at Snow Domain Pavilion because old Amo was a peak 3rd grade alchemist. No one would say anything if he refined the soul condensing pill. Not long after, Ning Yu and Lu Wei arrived at Snow Domain Pavilion. Because there were only 3 illusionary cloud beast cores, Ning Yu brought 3 sets of herbs into an alchemy room. Entering the room, Ning Yu first took out a high-grade yuan crystal and used the spiritual art to absorb it, adjusting his mental state to its peak. The soul condensing pill was a peak 3rd grade elixir. The difficulty of refining it was comparable to a normal 4th grade elixir. Although Ning Yu's soul force had reached the peak 3rd grade, he did not dare to be careless. After all, he was going to refine a supreme grade soul condensing pill. An hour later, when his mental state was at its peak, Ning Yu threw the alchemy furnace into the air and grabbed the herbs for the soul condensing pill. Since Ning Yu's soul force had reached the peak of the 3rd grade, there weren't any problems during the herb extraction process. Swoosh! While Ning Yu was refining the ingredients, old Amo suddenly stood up in the pill refining room next door. He released his soul force and instantly pressed down. Creak! Old Amo pushed the door open and walked out. Old Amo, you've advanced to a 4th grade alchemist. Seeing old Amo and sensing his aura, Lu Wei was pleasantly surprised. It's all thanks to you and Ning Yu that I was able to advance to a 4th grade alchemist. If it wasn't for the 2 of you helping me refine the 4th grade detoxification pill, it would have taken me a long time to advance to a 4th grade alchemist. Old Amo did not deny it and smiled. Old Amo, you're too humble. You've been a peak 3rd grade alchemist for a long time. Advancing to a 4th grade alchemist is only a matter of time, Lu Wei said. Right, when I was in seclusion, did you go to see Ning Yu? Old Amo asked. Chapter 47. Oh, refining the soul solidifying pill. Then what are we? Refining the soul solidifying pill. Hearing Lu Wei's words, Elder Mo replied calmly. But very quickly his eyes widened and he exclaimed, He's refining the 3rd grade soul solidifying pill? Are you sure? Elder Mo was shocked. The soul solidifying pill was extremely difficult to refine among the 3rd grade pills. From a certain perspective, the difficulty of refining it could even be compared to the 4th grade poison expelling pill. Even though he had advanced to a 4th grade alchemist, it was still extremely difficult for him to refine the soul-solidifying pill. Being able to successfully refine 3 out of 10 attempts was already a good result. In Elder Mo's opinion, even though the strength of Ningyu's soul force had reached the 3rd grade, it was basically impossible for him to refine the soul-solidifying pill. "I'm sure." Nodding her head, Lu Wei said, "We just returned from the Alchemy Union. Ningyu spent 3 high-grade yuan crystals to purchase 3 illusionary cloud beast cores." Thereafter, Lu Wei recounted what happened at the Alchemy Union to Elder Mo. 3 high-grade yuan crystals? That doesn't make sense. A few days ago, he used a transcendent-grade marrow cleansing pill to exchange for low-grade yuan crystals. Frowning slightly, Elder Mo was a little doubtful. Back then, Ningyu used several transcendent-grade marrow cleansing pills to exchange for more than 10 low-grade yuan crystals. It didn't make sense for Ningyu to have 3 high-grade yuan crystals in a short span of 2 days. Could it be that his master had returned? Thinking of this, Elder Mo's face lit up with joy. "I believe that Ningyu will come out soon. When the time comes, we can ask him if his master has returned." "Elder Mo, you mean that Ningyu's master might be in the Ning family now?" Lu Wei's mouth was slightly agape as she asked. "That's a possibility, but it's hard to say. Let's wait for Ningyu to come out first." Elder Hiroshi didn't make a definitive statement. It was better to wait for Ningyu to come out and clarify things. Essence solidifying pill. If Ningyu is able to refine the essence solidifying pill, then the elders of Danwu College will definitely fight for it, Elder Amo mumbled as he looked at the alchemy room. "Who?" Inside the alchemy room, Ningyu let out a long breath after he finished refining the ingredients for the soul-condensing pill. He poured the refined medicinal liquid into a jade bottle. With a flick of his wrist, an illusory cloud beast inner core was tossed into the cauldron. Hiss! The moment the illusory cloud beast's core was thrown into the cauldron, it let out a hissing sound. "Go down!" Soul force frantically poured into the furnace, suppressing the illusory cloud beast's inner core at the bottom of the furnace. The illusory cloud beast's inner core was extremely difficult to refine. It could only be refined quickly at the bottom of the cauldron and turned into liquid. Because the temperature at the bottom of the cauldron was the highest, the refining speed was the fastest. If I had the heavenly fire cauldron and the demonic lotus flame, refining a mere essence, solidifying pill would be a piece of cake. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu secretly made up his mind to find the heavenly fire cauldron and the demonic lotus flame as soon as possible. The heavenly fire cauldron's grade was extremely high, and it was ranked 3rd on the Heaven Cauldron list. The demonic lotus flame was also very special, and it was ranked 5th on the Mystic Flames list. According to the Reincarnation Pill Tao records, the Reincarnation Pill was an existence that surpassed grade 10. The reason why Ningyu was able to refine a semi-finished product was due to the help of the Heavenly Fire Cauldron and the demonic lotus flame. Otherwise, with his identity as a peak grade 9 alchemist, it would be impossible for him to refine an elixir that surpassed grade 10. Kacha! Suddenly, a crisp sound could be heard. With his soul force surging, Ningyu could clearly see the illusory cloud beast's inner core breaking into 2 and gradually melting. Buzz! After another 2 hours, when the illusory cloud beast's inner core had completely melted into a medicinal liquid, Ningyu poured the liquid from the jade bottle into the cauldron bit by bit. Without the help of the demonic lotus flame, Ningyu had to burn his yuan qi to produce the flame, which naturally consumed a lot of energy. Fortunately, he had cultivated the spiritual transformation technique to stage 2. Otherwise, the speed at which Ningyu absorbed yuan qi would be far from the speed at which he consumed it. To refine the essence solidifying pill, not only did it have a strict requirement on the proportion of medicinal herbs, but it also had to be extremely precise in the control of the fire. Otherwise, it was destined to fail. In his previous life, As a peak grade 9 alchemist, Ningyu had no problem with the proportion of medicinal herbs and the control of the fire, even though he was confident that he could refine the essence solidifying pill. Ningyu did not dare to be careless. After all, he was not going to refine an ordinary inferior grade essence solidifying pill, but a supreme grade one. A supreme grade essence solidifying pill. Ningyu's eyes were fixed on the cauldron. He did not even dare to wipe the beads of sweat on his forehead, afraid that there would be a problem with the fire. Pum! 2 hours later, Ningyu's eyes narrowed. He patted the cauldron, and a round pill instantly flew out from the cauldron. Swoosh! With a flick of his wrist, he caught the pill. A superior grade essence solidifying pill. Looking at the round pill in his hand, Ningyu frowned slightly. He shook his head and placed it into the jade bottle. Taking out a superior grade yuan crystal, Ningyu sat down cross-legged and started to absorb the energy using the spiritual transformation technique. A moment later, Ningyu had completely replenished the yuan qi he had consumed. His eyes narrowed and he threw the medicinal herbs into the cauldron again. This time, Ningyu was extremely careful, afraid that he would make a mistake at any part of the process. Refining the essence solidifying pill consumed a lot of yuan qi. An ordinary third-grade alchemist would have exhausted too much yuan qi after refining 1 cauldron a day and could only rest. However, Ningyu was different. The spiritual transformation technique absorbed yuan qi at an extremely fast rate, enough for him to refine several cauldrons of essence solidifying pill in a single day. This time, I must refine a superior grade essence solidifying pill. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu focused all of his attention on refining the essence solidifying pill, completely unaffected by the outside world. Outside the cauldron, Lu Wei and Elder Hiroshi stood guard. Elder Hiroshi, it's already evening. Why isn't Ningyu out yet? It can't be that he really managed to refine the essence solidifying pill, right? Looking at the cauldron, Lu Wei asked doubtfully. It's very difficult. It's basically impossible for him to refine the essence solidifying pill. Since Ning, you managed to refine the superior grade marrow cleansing pill previously. Elder Hiroshi did not dare to be so certain this time. Instead, his brows were tightly knitted together. He was also perplexed. Regardless of whether he succeeded or not, 3 to 4 hours was enough for him to refine a cauldron of essence solidifying pill. Since Ning, you still hasn't come out, could it be that he wants to refine a second cauldron? Thinking of this, even Elder Hiroshi felt that his idea was a little unreliable. It was impossible to refine 2 cauldrons of essence solidifying pill in a short period of time. Oh, right, Missy. Did Ningyu tell you why he's refining the essence solidifying pill? Could it be that his father used it? Elder Hiroshi asked with a slight frown. The essence solidifying pill was extremely effective for a Xiantian realm martial artist. There was a 50% chance of breaking through to the next stage. Elder Hiroshi knew that Ningyu was only a Hotian realm martial artist. Consuming the essence solidifying pill would be a waste. If he couldn't fully refine the medicinal energy within, his body might even explode. Creak! At this moment, the door to the cauldron was pushed open, and Ningyu walked out with a face full of exhaustion. Ningyu, did you manage to refine the inferior grade essence solidifying pill? Seeing Ningyu, Lu Wei took a step forward and asked, It's not that easy to refine an inferior grade essence solidifying pill, Ningyu said with a bitter smile as he shook his head slowly. Actually, Ningyu wasn't lying. This time he had refined 3 cauldrons of essence solidifying pills, 2 superior grade and 1 superior grade. He really didn't manage to refine inferior grade essence solidifying pill. This time, Ningyu didn't intend to tell Elder Hiroshi and the rest that he had successfully refined the essence solidifying pill. Once the news got out, it would definitely cause a huge uproar. Ningyu, now that your soul force has reached the 3rd grade, I believe it won't be long before you can refine the essence, solidifying pill. Don't be discouraged, Elder Hiroshi said. Oh, right, Elder Hiroshi. How much do you know about Elixir Dragon Valley? Chapter 48. According to reliable sources, Pill Dragon Valley is the abode of an early-stage, 5th-grade alchemist. It is divided into Inner Valley and Outer Valley. There are no restrictions on entering the Outer Valley. Anyone can enter. As for the Inner Valley, only those below the age of 22 are allowed to enter. As the experts from Snow Pavilion had yet to arrive and Lu Wei was still young, Snow Pavilion's power was temporarily under Elder Mo's control. According to the first batch of people who went deep into Pill Dragon Valley was divided into Inner Valley and Outer Valley. There were no restrictions on entering the Outer Valley. However, there was a powerful formation at the entrance of the Inner Valley. Only those below the age of 22 were allowed to enter. Any martial artist over the age of 22 would be killed by the formation if they tried to barge in. Young Master Ning, do you want to go to Pill Dragon Valley too? Elder Mo asked. That's right. Pill Dragon Valley is the abode of a 5th-grade alchemist. I want to try my luck. Ningyu replied, Ningyu, I want to enter Pill Dragon Valley too. Why don't we go together? Lu Swan's eyes lit up. He said in a hurry, in a week, Master Mo and I will go to the Elixir Dragon Valley together. By then you will be with us. Nobody will dare to do anything to you. Thank you for your kindness. I have something to do in a week. It's not convenient for me to enter Pill Dragon Valley with you. After pondering for a while, Ningyu felt that it was better not to go with Lu Wei. After all, he was going to fight Zhang Wenyong in a week. Zhang Wenyong came from the capital. His family was definitely not weak. If he went with Elder Mo would not leave him alone. Then, Snow Pavilion might have a conflict with the Zhang family. That's a pity. I wish you good luck. Lu Wei was a little disappointed. Zhang Wenyong did not spread the news of his fight with Ningyu. Otherwise, Lu Wei would definitely know. Song Fei also issued a gag order for what happened at Drunken Cloud Inn. If anyone dared to spread the news, he would kill them. Under Song Fei's threat, for the time being, no one dared to spread the news. However, he believed that after a while, what happened at Drunken Cloud Inn would definitely spread. By then, everyone in Tianqian City would know. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first. Since he had finished refining the soul condensing pill and it was already evening, there was no need for Ningyu to stay here any longer. He cupped his fists and took his leave. Seeing Ningyu disappear, old CO Mo felt that he had left in a hurry. Could it be that he really refined the soul condensing pill? Frowning, a bold idea appeared in Elder Hiroshi's mind. Once this idea appeared, it lingered in his mind for a long time. Elder Mo, why don't you stay with the Ning family for a few days? I'm afraid Lin Jingtian will attack him, Lu Wei said worriedly. No, I thought it would take a few more days for Ning Yu's grandfather to wake up. I didn't expect him to be so strong-willed. He has already woken up. With a touch of coldness in his eyes, Elder Mo said, Ning He is half a step to the real martial arts realm, and his strength is no weaker than mine. With him in the Ning family, and the fact that the Ning family has already called back all the experts in the family, Lin Jingtian will not dare to act wildly. At the Ning family, back in his room, Ning Yu first instructed not to let anyone disturb him. Then he took out a soul-condensing pill and threw it into his mouth. Crunch! The pill Ning Yu took out was a high-grade soul-condensing pill. When he chewed it, it was crunchy. As soon as the soul-condensing pill entered his stomach, Ning Yu hurriedly used the spiritual transformation technique to absorb the energy. The soul-condensing pill was extremely potent, and there was a 50% chance that it could help a Xiantian realm martial artist break through to the next level. Ordinary Hotian realm martial artists would not be able to refine the pill. Furthermore, The soul-condensing pill contained a huge amount of energy. If a Hotian realm martial artist dared to take it, there was a high chance that his body would explode and he would die. Ningyu was different. His soul force had reached the peak of the 3rd grade, and his spiritual transformation technique could absorb Yuan Qi at an extremely fast speed. Therefore, eating the soul-condensing pill was like eating candy. Suppress it. The energy contained in the soul-condensing pill, guided by the spiritual transformation technique, continuously entered his sea of consciousness and attached to the Qi whirlpool. As the energy continued to enter his sea of consciousness, Ningyu felt the Qi whirlpool suddenly increase in size. In an instant, he had an urge to break through to the late Hotian realm. Naturally, Ningyu would not break through to the late Hotian realm so easily. He had to suppress the Qi whirlpool in his sea of consciousness. Hiss! Feeling that it was being suppressed, the Qi whirlpool instantly surged, crashing left and right in his sea of consciousness. Humph! You'd better behave yourself. With a cold snort, Ningyu's powerful soul force instantly gathered in his sea of consciousness, forming the shape of a needle. Then, all of it shot towards the Qi whirlpool. Pum! Suddenly, a muffled sound rang out, and the Qi whirlpool split into 2. Feeling the changes in the Qi whirlpool in his sea of consciousness, Ningyu let out a long breath. His eyes were slightly fiery. In his previous life, he had only been able to split the Qi whirlpool into 2 when he was at the early Xiantian realm. In this life, he had only been able to split the Qi whirlpool into 2 when he was at the middle Hotian realm. Moreover, it was not difficult at all. According to this rate of progress, by the time he reached the early Xiantian realm, it was very likely that he would be able to split the Qi whirlpool into 4. Even splitting it into 4 into 8 was not impossible. The splitting of the Qi whirlpool was very helpful to the storage of Yuan Qi in the body. When 2 martial artists of the same realm fought, the one with more Qi whirlpools had a higher chance of winning. It could be said that below the Yuan Dan realm, the more Qi whirlpools there were, the stronger one's strength would be after advancing to the Yuan Dan realm, and the higher their future achievements would be. Crack! Taking out another core condensing pill, Ningyu activated the spirit transformation art and slowly absorbed the energy. The energy contained within a transcendent grade core condensing pill was far stronger than that of a high-grade core condensing pill. Therefore, even though Ningyu's Qi whirlpool had split into 2, it was quickly filled up. Suppress! Suppress it again! Ningyu was not in a hurry to break through to the late Hotian realm. Instead, he suppressed the Qi whirlpool once more, wanting to split it into 4 at one go. While Ningyu was working hard to split the Qi whirlpool, a piece of news quietly spread in Profound Sky City. Have you heard? Ningyu took the initiative to challenge Zhang Wenyong. In a week's time, they will fight to the death outside Pill Dragon Valley. Inside Scattering Flower House, a few martial artists were discussing. I know Ningyu, but who is Zhang Wenyong? Another martial artist asked doubtfully. You don't know Zhang Wenyong? The second young master of the capital's Zhang family. His strength is at the peak of the Hotian realm. The martial artist who spoke just now said, Ningyu is too arrogant. Although he killed Lin Feng and Zhang Wenyong are not on the same level. That's right, that's right. Instead of staying at home obediently, he dares to challenge Zhang Wenyong. I think he must be tired of living. The Lin family has already spread the word that as long as Ningyu dares to leave Profound Sky City, they will definitely teach him a lesson. Brother Yunqiang, this Ningyu is overestimating himself, isn't he? He actually dares to challenge Zhang Wenyong. At another table, there were 3 to 4 men around the age of 20. Humph! Who does Zhang Wenyong think he is? Compared to Brother Yunqiang, he is worlds apart. That's right. Brother Yunqiang has long advanced to the early Xiantian realm. Zhang Wenyong's elder brother might be comparable to Brother Yunqiang. Zhang Wenyong? brother Yunqiang can squash him to death with one hand. One of the young men held a folding fan in his hand. He had an elegant demeanor and a smile on his lips. He was the brother Yunqiang that everyone was talking about. Chapter 49. Brother Yunqiang, how could Ningyu be your match? One of the advanced stage post-liminary realm warriors said flatteringly, "If you want to test his strength, I can spar with him before he fights Zhang Wenyang." "No need. He's just a genius from a small city. So what if he's strong? We have to look further." Yun Chang said, "This training in Elixir Dragon Valley is a rare opportunity. You have to cherish it and enter the inner yard in this year's assessment." Inner yard. Hearing the two words, inner yard, a few people beside him revealed looks of longing. They had just entered Danu College for a year and had been cultivating in the outer yard. They were not qualified to enter the inner yard yet. All the warriors in the inner yard were at the post-liminary realm. Even the top few in the inner yard ranking had reached the post-liminary realm, and their strength was close to the martial realm. All right, it's not easy to enter the inner yard. You have to participate in the assessment. Waving his hand, Yun Chang asked, "I told you to keep an eye on Kong Yu. Where is she now?" "Kong Yu should be at Drunken Cloud Loft now." A peak post-liminary realm warrior said, "Ever since we entered Tianqian City, she would go to the Ning family every morning and stay there for an hour before leaving." Swoosh! Hearing this, Yun Chang's face darkened. He said in a low voice, "Why is she going to the Ning family? Is she looking for Ning Xian?" "Brother Yun Chang, I don't know. I don't dare to follow her too closely. I'm afraid she'll find out," the peak post-liminary realm warrior said carefully. "Good, very good. I'm so infatuated with her. She's going to meet her lover behind my back." Clenching his fists tightly, Yun Chang said in a cold voice, "Rest well today. Tomorrow morning, come with me to meet that Ning Xian. I want to see just what aspects a person who did not enter the Danwu Academy has that would attract Kong Yu." Early the next morning, in Ning Yu's room. Splitting the cyclone is indeed difficult. It seems that to split into 4 cyclones, one must reach the peak post-liminary realm or even the post-liminary realm. With a slight frown, Ningyu muttered, "At the late stage of the post-liminary realm, there is too little yuan qi in the cyclone. It is not enough to split the cyclone into 4. After a night of practice, Ningyu's cultivation had risen to the late stage of the Hotian realm. However, he hadn't divided the cyclone into 4. If one could divide the cyclone into 4 at the Hotian realm, then they would truly be a genius among geniuses. They could even be called a ghostly genius. Even in his previous life, Ningyu, with his heaven-defying talent, was only able to split the cyclone into 2 when he was at the primary stage of the Xian Tian realm. Forget it. We can't be too hasty on the path of cultivation. Standing up, Ningyu stared at the remaining supreme essence condensing pill in his hand, feeling troubled. How should I give it to father? Ningyu had refined 3 essence condensing pills, 2 supreme grade and 1 high grade. He had used 2 of them for cultivation, so he was left with 1 transcendent essence condensing pill. Although the soul solidifying pill would be of great help to him in advancing to the peak of the Hotian realm, he knew that giving the soul solidifying pill to his father, Ning Hai, would be the best choice at this stage. Ning Hai's cultivation was at the late stage of the Xiantian realm. If he took the soul condensing pill, it was highly possible that he would advance to the peak of the Xiantian realm, or even the complete Xiantian realm. At that time, Lin Jingtian would have to think twice before making a move. "Sai, if it really doesn't work, I'll just have to say that Elder Hiroshi gave it to me." With a sigh, Ningyu stood up and walked toward the door. "Bad news, Brother Ningyu, bad news." Ningyu had just pushed the door open when he saw Ning Xin standing outside, looking highly anxious. "Xin, what exactly is going on?" "Speak slowly," Ningyu asked with a frown. Oh, Brother Ningyu, come with me quickly. Brother Ningxian is going to duel with someone else. As she dragged Ningyu towards the door, Ning Xian said, "In the family's training grounds, no one can stop him." Duel with someone else in the family's training grounds? Is it with Ning Hu? Ning Yu was a little confused. Logically speaking, the younger generations of the Ning family were on good terms with each other, so they shouldn't be dueling. It's not with Ning Hu. It's with someone from Dongwu College, Ning Xian explained. Why would someone from Dongwu College come to the Ning family to duel with Ning Xian? This time Ningyu was even more confused, but very quickly he thought of something and exclaimed, "Could it be that the girl that Ning Xian likes has just returned from Dongwu College, and Ning Xian wants to duel with someone because of her?" Ning Xian's face froze, and she nodded her head vigorously. Ning Yu's mouth twitched a few times, thinking to himself that this was really melodramatic. How could such a plot happen in the Ning family? And he had to encounter it himself. Although it was a melodramatic plot, Ning Yu did not stop but increased his pace. He had no choice. They were already bullying him, and he could not afford to lose face. A few moments later, Ning Yu and Ning Xian arrived at the training grounds. "Ning Xian, don't say I didn't give you a chance." They had just arrived at the training grounds when Ning Yu heard a voice calling out to him. "Let me see. What makes you worthy of Kong Yu's affection?" A man holding a folding fan waved the fan in his hand and said with a smile, "Moreover, I will suppress my cultivation level to the early stages of the Hotian realm when I duel with you. It will be very fair to you. Yun Qiang, whether I like Ning Xian or not, has nothing to do with you. I hope you will leave quickly." A young girl beside Ning Xian said angrily, her pretty face showing signs of anger. "Little you, this matter has nothing to do with you. Others have already bullied our family. We cannot let others say that our Ning family sons are cowards." Ning Xian's face was flushed red, his fists clenched so tightly that his knuckles cracked, looking like he was going to fight for his life. Yun Chang shrugged and said, "Ning Xian, I don't really want to duel with you. I just want to tell you that Kong Yu is from Dongwu College, and the gap between you and Dongwu College is very wide. I want you to give up on this idea as soon as possible." After that, Yun Chang winked at the four men behind him. They understood and immediately stood beside Kong Yu, surrounding her. "Kong Yu, I'm sorry to have wronged you." The corners of Yun Chang's mouth curled up, and he waved at Ning Xian, saying, "How about this? I allow you to find another helper from the Ning family, 2 against 1. No need against you, Ning Xian's eyes were cold as he said angrily, "Ha, elder brother Xian, we brothers have not fought side by side for a long time. How can we miss such a good opportunity today?" Before Ning Xian's voice faded, a voice was heard. Slightly startled, Yun Chang turned his head around, only to see a handsome youth slowly walking towards him. The youth had a warm smile on his face as he directly ignored Yun Chang and said to Ning Xian, "Elder brother Xian, you have also successfully advanced to the early Hotian stage. How about we join forces again today?" Ning Xian nodded his head and did not refuse. He was well aware of Yun Chang's strength. Even if he suppressed his cultivation to the early Hotian stage, he would still be no match for Yun Chang. 3 moves, in his opinion. Yun Chang only needed 3 moves to defeat him. Once Ning Yu joined the battle, he believed that the 2 brothers would have an extremely high chance of defeating Yun Chang, who had suppressed his cultivation to the early Hotian stage. "Who are you?" Yun Chang raised his eyebrows when he saw Ning Yu ignore him. Chapter 50. Ning Yu shrugged and said, "It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is that you are in the Ning family, and I am a member of the Ning family." Although Yun Chang could not see through Ning Yu's real cultivation, he was not worried at all. In his opinion, an 18th-rate family like the Ning family could not possibly have any talented warriors. Even if there were 8 or 10 of them, they would not be his match, let alone 2. Standing on the spot, Yun Chang had a confident look on his face as he said, "All of you can attack first, because the moment I attack will be the moment of your defeat." "I see. Yun Chang, I want to know if suppressing my cultivation to the early stage of the Hotian realm still counts?" Ning Yu asked. "Of course it counts," Yun Chang said proudly. "Suppressing my cultivation to the early stage of the Hotian realm is enough to deal with you." "Hee, then we will make our move." With a smile, Ning Yu's eyes turned cold and his body turned into a beam of cold light, rushing towards Yun Chang. Not good. At first, Yun Chang was calm and confident, but when he saw Ning Yu make his move, his face changed and he quickly retreated. This was because the power of Ning Yu's attack far exceeded that of an early-stage Hotian warrior. It was close to the late stage of the Hotian realm. Bang! In that instant, Ning Yu's fist and Yun Chang's fist collided, causing a muffled sound. Yun Chang retreated a few steps before he could stabilize himself. As for Ning Yu, he tapped the ground with his toes and retreated 3 steps. The difference between the two was obvious. Brother Ning Yu is good. Brother Ning Yu is really powerful. Even the warriors from Danwu College are no match for him. Humph. Danwu College is nothing. Brother Ning, you will enter Danwu College sooner or later. I told you, with Brother Ning Yu here, nothing will happen. Around the martial arts practice field, the Ning family's children instantly burst into exclamations of surprise and discussion. Yun Chang appeared in the Ning family's martial arts arena. Due to his status, the upper echelons of the Ning family did not intervene. Instead, they chose to let the younger generation settle it among themselves. Yun Chang's cultivation was at the early stage of the Xiantian realm. Among the younger generation of the Ning family, Ning Xian had just advanced to the early stage of the Hotian realm. How could he possibly be a match for Yun Chang? Now that Ning Yu had appeared and forced Yun Chang back with a single move, the younger generation of the Ning family felt their blood boil. "Why is you so strong?" At the entrance of the martial arts practice field, Ning He frowned slightly, feeling a little puzzled. A few days ago, he had examined Ning Yu's body and learned that Ning Yu's cultivation was only at the primary Hotian realm. He had judged that Ning Yu's cultivation was at least at the middle stage of the Hotian realm, or even at the late stage of the Hotian realm. "Father, I don't know." Ning Hai was also very puzzled. Patriarch, with you our strength, it's only a matter of time before he enters Danwu College," Ning Tang, the great elder of the Ning family, said happily. At the mention of Danwu College, Ning He's complexion changed slightly. He said in a low voice, "The competition in Danwu College is very fierce and cruel. If I had a choice, I really hope you would not enter." After saying that, Ning He turned around and left. Looking at Ning He's back, Ning Tang said, "Patriarch, what happened at that time? Why does the Patriarch look a little lost every time the Danwu College is mentioned?" "I don't know the specifics." Ning Hai shook his head and immediately said with a gloomy face, "Don't ask about other things first. Keep an eye on the martial arts practice field. Don't let Yun Chang hurt any of the Ning family's children." The reason why Yun Chang was allowed to behave atrociously in the martial arts practice field was because of his identity as a disciple of Danwu College. With the Ning family's current strength, they could not afford to offend a behemoth like Danwu College. "Ning Yu, you are Ning Yu." In the martial arts practice field, Yun Chang's complexion changed slightly when he heard the discussions around him. He said in a low voice, "Originally, I thought it was just a coincidence that you killed Lin Feng. Now it seems that it was not entirely a coincidence. Your strength is enough to compete with an ordinary warrior at the advanced stage of the Hotian realm." After the exchange just now, Yun Chang was secretly shocked. This Ning Yu's strength was really strong. He judged that Ning Yu had not used his full strength. If he had used his full strength, His strength could not be underestimated. Thinking of this, Yun Chang said, "Not bad, not bad. It seems that you are qualified to make me use my strength at the intermediate stage of the Hotian realm." "Haha! Didn't you just say that you would suppress your cultivation to the early stage of the Hotian realm? Why, could it be that the people of Danwu College will also go back on their words?" Ning Yu's eyes opened wide, and his expression was very exaggerated. "Humph! So what if I suppress my cultivation to the early stage of the Hotian realm? Don't tell me that you are still a match for me." Yun Chang coldly snorted and said, "I suppressed my cultivation to the intermediate stage of the Hotian realm. This is enough to show that I value you. Even if you lose to me, you can still be proud." He is too shameless, going back on his words and making it sound so dignified. TSK, who asked him to be the genius of Danwu College. There is no other way. Hee. Just now it was Brother Ningyu who attacked. If Brother Ningxian also attacked, I am afraid that the genius of Danwu College would also be beaten up. It is hard to say. Later, the genius of Danwu College will definitely use the strength of the early stage of the Hotian realm. The mocking laughter that came from all around caused Yun Chang's complexion to turn ashen. It was extremely unsightly and somewhat angry. When people were angry, they would do some crazy things. Yun Chang coldly said, "Ningyu, I have changed my mind. I will not suppress my cultivation to the intermediate stage of the Hotian realm. I will use my full strength and challenge the entire younger generation of the Ning family." Swoosh! Yun Chang's words made the warriors of the Ning family in the martial arts practice field quiet down. They knew that Yun Chang's cultivation was at the early stage of the Xiantian realm. His strength was valiant. If he used his full strength, he would be able to sweep away the entire younger generation of the Ning family. What do you think? Do you dare to accept? The corners of Yun Chang's mouth curled up slightly, revealing a complacent smile. He slowly swept his gaze across the martial arts practice field and said gloomily, "I thought you would have a lot of backbone. It seems like you are just a wax figure with a silver spear. Nice to look at, but useless." Ning Xian's complexion was very unsightly. He took a step forward and was about to attack. However, Ningyu pressed on his shoulder and said indifferently, "Since you're in such a good mood, why don't I play with you? However, I don't need so many people to deal with you. I can do it myself." Yun Chang was a genius of Danwu College. His cultivation was at the early stage of the Xiantian realm. He definitely had many trump cards. Ningyu naturally would not allow the younger generation of the Ning family to attack. After all, apart from Ning Xian, the younger generation of the Ning family were all at the body-tempering realm. No matter how many body-tempering realm warriors there were, they would not be a match for a Xiantian realm warrior. You are indeed arrogant. I want to see if you are qualified to be so arrogant, Yun Chang said coldly as he stepped on the ground. Raging primordial qi burst out from his body in an instant, shattering the ground. A slightly thin figure suddenly rose from the ground like a ghost. He clenched his fist, and a wild primordial qi swept out, bringing with it gusts of strong wind. He attacked Ningyu mercilessly. "Oh no! Brother Ningyu, retreat quickly! Brother Ningyu, retreat quickly! You are not a match for him." Damn it! Ning Xian cursed in his heart. He held the iron blood sword in his hand, and his eyes turned cold. He was about to attack. Chapter 51. Boom! Seeing the violent Yuan Qi wave from Yun Chang's body, Ningyu's eyes were filled with shock. A Khanate stage cultivator from Danwu College is indeed powerful. In the blink of an eye, Ningyu flicked his sleeve and a wave of vigorous Yuan Qi suddenly rushed out of his body. At this moment, the surrounding air seemed to be greatly disturbed and was forcefully split in half. Humph! Child's play. With a cold snort, Yun Chang instantly sped up. His extremely fast figure brought with it a violent yuan qi gale. On the Ning family's side, everyone's faces darkened when they felt Yun Chang's powerful yuan qi wave. This wave of yuan qi had clearly reached the peak of the early Khanate stage. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, clap, clap. In the next instant, Ning Yu's fist collided with Yun Chang's, causing a series of muffled sounds. Feeling the explosive sensation from his wrist, Yun Chang's expression changed slightly. He then borrowed the force of the collision and retreated several steps. Swoosh! However, in the next instant, Yun Chang sped up again. His fist tore through the air and suddenly appeared in front of Ning Yu's chest. Ning Yu felt as if the air around him had been torn apart. A ghostly fist broke through the air and quickly turned into a sharp sword, fiercely chopping towards his head. Middle grade, profound, level magic treasure. Seeing Yun Chang take out a magic treasure flying sword, the crowd let out gasps of surprise. Their brows were filled with worry. Profound, level magic treasures were extremely heaven-defying. In the hands of a Khanate stage cultivator, they could display 100% of their power. Brother Ning Xian, quickly think of something. If this goes on, Brother Ning, you will be defeated sooner or later. Didn't Yun Chang say that he wants to challenge the entire younger generation of the Ning family? Let's attack together. In the training field, the Ning family's youths were filled with righteous indignation. They all wanted to go up and help. All of you calm down. Ning Xian was still aware of the situation and did not act rashly. He could sense that the fight between Ning Yu and Yun Chang had already surpassed his understanding. Even the slightest yuan qi undulations made him apprehensive. If they were to join in, they would probably be repelled before they could even touch Yun Chang. Hee, I think you should hurry up and help Brother Yun Chang. Once he brings out his flying sword, even 10 Ning you won't be a match for him. On the other side, a Peak Ho Tian warrior from Danwu College sneered. What's the point of letting them do it? Listen to me. Let the older generation of the Ning family take action. Maybe Ning, you will have a chance to live. It's hard to say. Big Brother Yun Chang is very strong. Among the 20 students who graduated from Danwu College, he can be ranked in the top 5. I'm afraid that even the older generation of the Ning family might not be able to defeat Big Brother Yun Chang. A mid-grade, profound rank, magic treasure. The sounds of ridicule from the surroundings didn't affect Ning Yu, and it instead caused him to calm down. In the face of the sharp flying sword, he frowned slightly. Then his feet touched the ground and his body shot forward. Netherworld Samsara Palm. The second move, Lonely Name. At the same time, Ning Yu's hands quickly formed a seal. In the next instant, a huge palm print flew through the air and collided with Yun Chang's flying sword. Not good. Yun Chang's face changed drastically when he felt the pressure from the palm print that came from the depths of his soul. His speeding figure quickly stopped and tried to retreat. However, the palm print was extremely fast, and it came crashing down in an instant. In the next instant, an extremely clear muffled sound rang out. Then, the crowd saw a miserable figure fall from the high platform of the martial arts arena. Crack! Blood gushed out as Yun Chang's body slammed into the ground, creating a clear crack on the bluestone pavement. The cracks continued to spread, and finally, under the tremendous resistance, they vanished into thin air. At this moment, Yun Chang's breath was weak and his eyes were dim. Rumble! At this moment, the entire martial arts arena fell silent. The 4 martial artists from Danwu College were extremely shocked when they saw the young man standing with his hands behind his back on the martial arts arena, and Yun Chang lying on the ground like a dead dog. Ning Yu, who was in the advanced Hotian realm, had actually defeated Yun Chang, who was in the early Xiantian realm. This kind of combat strength was indeed terrifying. Even if he was compared to Wu Long, who was ranked 4th among the 20 students, he wouldn't be inferior, right? Phew! Seeing that Yun Chang had lost his combat strength, Ningyu let out a long sigh of relief. His heavy body finally relaxed, and his face was slightly pale. In order to defeat Yun Chang with one move, although he didn't use his strongest combat strength, he still used 80% of his strength. Swoosh! 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 Suddenly, the figures of the 4 Danwu Academy martial artists who followed Yun Chang swept out in an instant, surrounding Ningyu in the middle. Being surrounded by the 4 Danwu College martial artists, Ningyu's relaxed nerves tensed up again. You guys want to fight too? In that case, let's fight to our heart's content today. With a fierce glint in his eyes, Ningyu took a step back, and the Yuan Qi in the 2 cyclones in his knowledge see instantly burst out. Whoosh! Feeling the powerful Yuan Qi in Ningyu's knowledge see. The 4 Danwu College martial artists' expressions changed, and they all took a step back. I didn't expect you to hold back. One of the peak Hotian realm martial artists stared at Ningyu and said coldly, judging from the Yuan Qi in your body, you should have reached the peak Hotian realm. If you want to fight, then fight. What's the point of talking? Ningyu said coldly. Cough, cough. At this moment, Yun Chang coughed twice and got up from the ground. Staring at Ningyu, Yun Chang's eyes were filled with malice. Good, very good. Ningyu, you've defeated me. Let's wait and see. With that, Yun Chang turned to leave. Seeing that Yun Chang was about to leave, Ningyu waved his hand and said calmly, the Ning family is not a place where you can come and go as you please. It's easy to enter, but difficult to leave. Yun Chang stopped and said disdainfully, What? Can you stop me if I want to leave? Shrugging, Ningyu said, You can leave, but you have to leave something behind. You've delayed the Ning family's cultivation time, so you should at least give me some compensation, right? Good. Very good. You're the first person who has dared to extort me. Yun Chang reached into his pocket and took out 2 elixirs. These are 2 superior-grade marrow-cleansing elixirs. Take them as compensation. Receiving the 2 superior-grade marrow-cleansing elixirs, Ningyu threw them into his mouth and chewed them under everyone's shocked gaze. Pursing his lips, Ningyu said, 2 superior-grade marrow-cleansing elixirs are not even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth. I didn't expect a martial artist from Danwu College to be so poor. Fine, I won't make things difficult for you. Get lost. Seeing Ningyu's actions, Yun Chang was dumbfounded. Was he still human? How could he swallow 2 superior-grade marrow-cleansing elixirs so easily? After a short moment of shock, Yun Chang's face was filled with anger. Ningyu was slapping his face and mocking him. With his character, how could he tolerate it? Chapter 52. Sigh. Glancing at the flying sword in Yun Chang's hand, Ningyu sighed. The Emerald Cloud Sword is your personal sword. It seems like you like it a lot. How can I take away what you love? Despite his words, Ningyu reached out his hand to take the flying sword from Yun Chang's hand. Humph. The corner of Yun Chang's mouth twitched as he snorted and threw the Emerald Cloud Sword at Ningyu. Pah! His right hand grasped the air, and the Emerald Cloud Sword was firmly grasped in his hand. It is indeed a mid-grade mystic class flying sword. It is barely enough as compensation. Ningyu sent his soul power into the flying sword to inspect it. He then waved his hand. You may leave. Ningyu, have you lost your mind? Did you not understand what I meant? Yun Chang was enraged. As long as you can subdue it, it will be yours. Now you still. How do you know I haven't subdued it? Before Yun Chang could finish a sentence, Ningyu interrupted him and waved the Emerald Cloud Sword. You can try and see if it still listens to you. Yun Chang wanted to recall the Emerald Cloud Sword. Whoosh! However, in the next moment his expression changed and his eyes were filled with disbelief. My Emerald Cloud Sword, you erased the soul imprint I left in it. How did you do it? It was no wonder that Yun Chang was shocked. Every mystic class and above would have a soul imprint on it. In order to completely obtain the treasure, the soul imprint must be erased. Otherwise, the treasure would not be able to unleash its full potential. Now that he had lost contact with the Emerald Cloud Sword, it meant that the soul imprint on the sword had been erased by Ningyu. I forgot to tell you, other than being a martial artist, I am also an alchemist. With a flick of his wrist, a 1-star badge appeared in Ningyu's hand. Looking at the badge in Ningyu's hand, Yun Chang's face turned pale. Possessing a 1-star badge meant that Ningyu was a first-grade alchemist. Impossible. My soul imprint was placed into the azure cloud, sword by my master. With your status as a first-grade alchemist, it is impossible for you to erase it. Demonic technique. You must have used a demonic technique. Yun Changchang shouted, not daring to believe the reality in front of him. Frowning slightly, Ningyu was a little unhappy. He said coldly, "You want to go back on your words?" Boom! As he spoke, the essence in Ningyu's 2 chi whirlpools surged out in a frenzy, suppressing Yun Chang. To deal with this kind of person, one had to use force and beat him until he was convinced. Puchi! Yun Chang vomited a mouthful of blood and knelt down on one knee. His face was deathly pale. Ning, you didn't just use his yuan qi to suppress it. He also quietly mixed his soul force with his yuan qi, forming a double suppression of yuan qi and soul force. As Yun Chang had already been struck by the netherworld Samsara Palm's second move, lonely name, his soul was severely injured. Coupled with the pressure of yuan qi and soul, he naturally could not withstand it. I will give you one last chance. Scram! Ningyu took a step forward and shouted, "Big brother Yun Chang, where there's life, there's hope," one of the peak post-liminary realm martialists said. "All right, let's go. The mountains will not change, and the rivers will continue to flow. Ningyu, this enmity is settled. Just wait and see." Yun Chang's heart bled after losing the azure cloud sword. However, he was helpless and could only leave like a stray dog. He was afraid that if he stayed any longer, Ningyu might do something out of line. Swoosh! Seeing Yun Chang leave like a stray dog, the martial arts practice ground, quietened down. Kong Yu was extremely shocked. No one in the martial arts practice ground understood Yun Chang's strength better than her. He was ranked in the top 1,000 of Danmu College's outer court. Defeating Yun Chang with one move, doesn't this mean that Ning Yu's strength is enough to rank in the top 1,000 of the outer court, or even the top 800? As she thought of this, the way Kong Yu looked at Ning Yu changed. Any martialist who entered the top 1,000 of the outer court would have a high chance of entering the inner court. Big brother Ningyu is great. Big brother Ningyu is amazing. Not only is he talented in alchemy, but his martial cultivation is also very strong. When that genius from Danmu College left just now, his face was as ugly as a pig's liver. After a while, the huge martial arts practice ground finally erupted. The young martialists of the Ning family all looked at Ningyu with undisguised admiration. Big brother Ningxian, I have to leave first. Tell everyone that it's best not to leave the Ning family during this time. I'm afraid Yun Chang will attack them. Although Yun Chang did not dare to attack the Ning family openly, he still had to guard against such a possibility. Even a cornered dog would jump over a wall, let alone a living person. After thinking for a while, Ningyu continued, "Also, remember not to speak of what happened today. If anyone dares to speak of it, don't blame me for not showing mercy." After speaking, Ningyu turned around and walked out of the martial arts practice ground. With Ningyu's powerful soul perception, he had long known that Ninghai and Ningtang were outside the martial arts practice ground. He had defeated Yun Chang in one move and obtained the middle-grade, profound, rank-flying sword. This matter had to be explained. Coincidentally, he could use this opportunity to give the transcendent grade condensing pill to his father. As for the aftermath of the martial arts practice ground, Ningyu believed that with Ning Xian's ability, he would definitely be able to handle it perfectly. There was no need for him to worry too much. Father, outside the martial arts practice ground, Ningyu's expression was calm. I'm not bad. Follow me. Nodding his head, Ning Hai did not ask any more questions and turned to leave. He followed Ning Hai through the backyard and stopped in front of a hidden stone door. There were 2 grooves on the stone door. Without hesitation, Ning Hai placed his palm on the grooves and exerted a little force. Traces of blood flowed from his fingers into the grooves. Creak! As the blood continuously flowed in, a creaking sound was heard a moment later as the thick and heavy stone door slowly opened. Swish! Just as he entered the stone door, Ningyu felt a cold and gloomy aura. This cold and gloomy aura caused him to involuntarily shrink his neck. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu looked ahead, only to see a long and narrow passage in front of him that was somewhat pitch black. After walking for approximately 15 minutes, they reached the end of the passage. The front suddenly became wide and spacious. 2 rows of stone rooms were neatly arranged on both sides, with names written on the stone doors of the stone rooms. Ning Batian, Ning Tao, Ning Ming. Mu Yun Shan. Ningyu's gaze shifted, finally stopping in front of the stone door where Mu Yun Shan was. Mother. Staring at the 3 large words on the stone door, Ningyu's mind exploded, causing him to be somewhat absent-minded. Although the owner of this body was not him, the faint feeling that originated from the depths of his heart still made him feel very uncomfortable. Ever since he could remember, Ningyu had never seen his mother, thus his memory of Mu Yun Shan's face was extremely vague. In the past, Ningyu had also asked about it, but Ning Hai had always found an excuse to avoid it. This time, for some unknown reason, Ning Hai had actually taken the initiative to bring him here. Chapter 53. In the stone room, a coffin lay quietly in the center. There was nothing else around it. Taking a deep breath, Ning Hai stepped forward and pressed a round button on the coffin. Ka-ka! Shortly after, the coffin slowly opened. Ning Hai took out a golden box from the coffin. The box was engraved with unknown patterns. There were locks on all 6 sides of the box, making it look extremely mysterious. Seeing the golden box, Ningyu's heart skipped a beat. He suppressed the restlessness in his heart and asked curiously, "What is this?" "This is what your mother left for you." Staring at the golden box, Ning Hai revealed a sad and lonely expression. "Mother," Ningyu said. "Yes." Ning Hai nodded and said, "Now it's time to give it to you." Having said that, Ning Hai took out 6 keys and opened the golden box. Hua! As soon as the box was opened, a golden light shot out from inside, followed by a majestic wave of essence qi. This wave of essence qi caused Ning Yu's heart to tremble a little. He felt a sense of fear. What is this thing? Taking the box, Ning Yu looked inside. Supreme 9 Purities, Sword Technique. Looking at the words on the slightly yellowed book in the box, Ningyu's heart could not help but tremble again. The Supreme 9 Purities, Sword Technique, was the treasure of the Supreme 9 Purities Temple. Why was it here? Could it be that Mu Yun Shan was someone from the Supreme 9 Purities Temple? Right, the Palace Lord of the 9 Purities Temple in space has the surname Mu. Could Mu Yun Shan be her daughter? Frowning slightly, Ningyu had some understanding of the Supreme 9 Purities Temple in his previous life. He knew that the Palace Lord was an extraordinary person, and his cultivation had already reached perfection. This is the cultivation technique your mother left for you. She said that when your cultivation reaches the Hotian stage, she can give it to you, Ning Hai said. Father, is mother a member of the Supreme 9 Purities Temple? Ning Yu asked calmly. Waving his hand, Ning Hai said, Don't ask about your mother's identity for now. Once you have cultivated this part of the supreme 9 purities, sword technique, to the extreme, you will naturally know everything about your mother. Train here for the next few days. You can only leave when you've mastered the first form of the 9 heavens sword technique. Then, Ning Hai turned around and left the stone room. As for Ning Yu, he sat cross-legged and slowly activated the 9 clarity supreme sword technique. There are only 6 styles. Ning Yu frowned as he flipped open the sword formula. Through the memories of his previous lifetime, he knew that the supreme 9 clarity sword technique had a total of 12 moves, and when cultivated to the limit, it was comparable to a top king rank martial technique. Right now, there were only 6 moves, and their power was equivalent to an earth rank upper grade martial technique. It just so happens that I won a mystic rank middle grade flying sword from Yunqiang. I can use it to cultivate the supreme 9 clarity supreme sword technique. With a flick of his wrist, the mystic rank middle grade flying sword, the green cloud sword, flew out and hovered above Ningyu's head. He separated a bit of his soul force and entered the green cloud sword, leaving a soul mark inside. Ning Yu did not cultivate the sword technique at the first possible moment. Instead, he flipped open the book and memorized the mental cultivation method and the accompanying diagrams of the 6 moves. Soon after, he flicked his finger and a scarlet flame gushed out, burning the book into nothingness. The first 6 moves of the supreme 9 clarity supreme sword technique was an excerpt, not the original, so there was no need to keep it. In the next moment, Ning Yu operated his Yuan Qi according to the mental cultivation method of the first move, entrusted it to the green cloud sword, and began to cultivate the sword technique. Swoosh! The green cloud sword flew back and forth in the stone room at an extremely fast speed. The supreme 9 clarity supreme sword technique really lives up to its name. It is indeed a little difficult to cultivate. Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu's drive surged. I can even successfully cultivate a cultivation method like the spirit transformation method. I don't believe that a mere sword technique can stump me. Rustle! The green cloud sword flew left and right in the stone room. Its speed doubled. Get in! With a low shout, Ning Yu gathered his Yuan Qi on the green cloud sword and pointed it forward. Bang! As the green cloud sword swept out, the surrounding air was compressed and forcefully split into 2. A low muffled sound rang out. Immediately, Ning Yu's eyes widened, and his face was filled with disbelief. The green cloud sword can't even withstand this pressure. Looking at the cracked body of the green cloud sword, Ning Yu was dumbfounded. Forget it. I'll just go buy a flying sword. I don't have any suitable weapons, anyway. Transcendent grade condensing essence pill. I can only give it to father next time. Shaking his head, Ning Yu stood up and was about to leave the stone room. However, he seemed to have thought of something and did not leave immediately. Instead, he stayed for another day. Ning Hai had said that he would leave when he mastered the first form of the sword technique. If he left so early, wouldn't he be a monster among monsters? A day later, after tidying up his clothes, Ning Yu left the stone room. Could he have mastered the first form of the sword technique? On the other side of the stone room, Ning Hai frowned in confusion. Mu Yunshan once said that even the peerless geniuses of the Supreme 9 Purities Temple would need a week to master the first form. When this time is over, I must have a good talk with you, I can't bite off more than I can chew. Shaking his head, Ning Hai turned around and left. As for Ning Yu, he turned left and right in Tianjin City and walked into a shop named Supreme Pavilion. This shop was located in the golden area of Tianjin City. Not only did it sell elixirs and pill furnaces, but it also sold some high-grade magical weapons. Suddenly, Ning Yu's heart skipped a beat and he turned his head around. Behind him, a short and skinny old man said with a smile, "Young master, May I know what you're looking for? Ningyu was slightly surprised. If it wasn't for his powerful soul perception, he would not have noticed the old man. From this, it could be seen that the old man was definitely an expert. Seeing Ningyu's reaction, the old man was even more shocked. He had used a technique to hide his aura, but Ningyu still discovered him. Not simple. The corner of the old man's mouth rose as he introduced himself. Niahua, the shopkeeper of this shop. So it's shopkeeper Nia. My surname is Ning. Ningyu nodded and said, I want to buy a suitable weapon. Niahua said, Could it be that young Master Ning wants to buy a flying sword? Raising his brows, Ningyu looked up to the old man again and said, That's right. I do want to buy a flying sword. Niahua smiled and said, The magical weapons and flying swords are all on the second floor. If young Master Ning is interested, I'll bring you there to take a look. Following that, Ningyu followed Niahua to the second floor. The second floor of the Supreme Pavilion was slightly more spacious, and there were various display booths arranged in an orderly manner. The display booths were divided into 4 areas: Heaven, Earth, Mysterious, and Yellow, which corresponded to the 4 grades of magical weapons. Looking at the display booths of Earth and Heaven, Ningyu frowned and asked, Elder Nya, does the Supreme Pavilion also have Earth and Heaven magical weapons for sale? Earth magical weapons were extremely powerful, but they were also very expensive. An ordinary Xiantian realm martial artist would not be able to unleash their full power. As for Heaven magical weapons, the price was even more shocking. Those who owned them were all aristocratic families. Chapter 54. Hee, young Master Ning, the Premium Pavilion naturally has Earth-grade and Heaven-grade magic treasures for sale. Smiling, Niahua said, If you need, I can transfer them from the headquarters. Pointing at the Earth-grade and Heaven-grade booths, Ningyu said, Aren't the magic treasures in those 2 booths Earth-grade and Heaven-grade? Looking at where Ningyu was pointing, Niahua said with a smile, Those 2 booths do indeed have Earth-grade and Heaven-grade magic treasures, but they are all broken and can't display even 10% of their power. Ning, you didn't stay too long at the Yellow-grade booths and headed for the Mystic, Earth-grade, and Heaven-grade booths. The Emerald Cloud Sword was a mystic mid-grade flying sword and couldn't even withstand the powerful pressure of the Supreme 9 Purity sword art, let alone an ordinary yellow-grade flying sword. After staying at the Mystic booth for a while, Ningyu shook his head and headed for the Earth-grade booths again. Flash, rune sword. He stopped in front of an Earth-grade booth. Inside the booth was a broken flying sword with only the blade and no hilt. The body of the sword was extremely plain, and there were even spots of rust on it. Niahua said, Young Master Ning has a good eye. This is the Flash rune sword. If it wasn't damaged, it would at least be an Earth-grade, mid-grade flying sword. What a pity. Such a good flying sword, but the hilt is broken and its power has dropped a lot. If young Master Ning needs it, I can sell it to you at a lower price. How much? Ningyu asked without batting an eyelid. Seeing that Ningyu was a little tempted, Niahua said, 100 high-grade essence crystals. That's too expensive. Niahua thought that Ningyu would haggle, but who would have thought that Ningyu would move and head for the Heaven-grade booth? Niahua had no choice but to follow. Soul-breaking sword. On the Heaven-grade booth, a blue sword lay quietly inside. From the outside, this soul-breaking sword was in perfect condition. The blade was crystal clear, without a trace of dust or rust. Ningyu's soul moved and quietly separated a wisp of soul force to explore the flying sword. When the soul force entered the flying sword, it was like a stone sinking into the ocean. There was not the slightest ripple. It can actually devour soul power. Ningyu was extremely shocked. Up until now, this absolute soul sword was the second magic treasure that he had encountered that could devour soul power. The first was the devouring jade bangle he won from Zhang Wenyong. Shopkeeper Nya, how much is this soul-breaking sword? Ning Yu asked. Nya Hua revealed a troubled expression when he heard this, and he said, Young Master Ning, this broken soul sword might be slightly more expensive. Ning Yu frowned and asked how much. I can't determine the grade of this flying sword, but I can't carve a soul imprint into it. Nya Hua said, if you want it, 500 high-grade origin crystals. It would be strange if you could imprint your soul imprint inside, because it is a devouring flying sword. Ning Yu secretly criticized in his heart, but he was also a little tempted. The devouring flying sword's power was needless to say. With a devouring flying sword, one could contend with a martial artist with a higher soul force. In other words, between two true martial realm martial artists, one had a second-grade soul force, and the other had a third-grade soul force. Then, a second-grade soul force martial artist with a devouring flying sword could contend with a third-grade soul force martial artist. The price of an earth-grade devouring flying sword was comparable to a sky-grade flying sword. Ordinary martial artists only knew that this flying sword could not be imprinted with a soul imprint, and they could not differentiate between a devouring flying sword and a normal flying sword. Little did they know that in order to imprint a soul imprint on a devouring flying sword, one had to refine a peak 4th grade elixir, the soul imprint elixir. This flying sword should be a sky-grade flying sword, but the array inside has not been activated. If I can obtain it, not only will I be able to smoothly cultivate the supreme 9 purities sword art, I will also have nothing to fear even if I encounter martial artists who specialize in soul force. Forcefully suppressing the passion in his eyes, Ning Yu made up his mind that he must find a way to obtain this absolute soul sword. Shopkeeper Nya, this flying sword is not a sky-grade artifact at all. Furthermore, one cannot imprint a soul imprint on it, so it's not worth 500 high-grade essence crystals. Ning Yu bargained. How about this? 200 high-grade essence crystals. I'll buy it. Nya Hua gritted his teeth and said, Young Master Ning, 300 high-grade essence crystals. This is the minimum. Young Master Ning, we've also appraised this flying sword. Although it's not a sky-grade artifact, its hardness is comparable to an ordinary earth-grade artifact. 300 high-grade essence crystals is a fair price. Seeing Ning Yu shake his head, Nya Hua hurriedly said, an undamaged, low-grade, earth-grade artifact also costs 10,000 high-grade essence crystals. 300 high-grade essence crystals to buy the absolute soul sword. You're not losing out. You're even making a profit. After a slight pause, Ning Yu said, 300 high-grade essence crystals is fine. When Ning Yu and Nya Hua entered the second floor, a group of 3 people entered the Supreme Grade Pavilion. 2 of the young men were the Zhao family's genius, Zhao Xian, and the Wangzi's genius, Wang Tao. The other man was the Danwu College's genius, Wu Long. Wang Tao smiled. Young Master Long, this is the Supreme Grade Pavilion. You can definitely buy the elixirs you need here. After Wu Long entered Tianxian City, the Zhao family and the Wangs contacted him immediately and tried everything to rope him in. To be able to rope in a Danwu College's genius, it was worth it no matter how much they spent. Wu Long said calmly the Supreme Grade Pavilion's headquarters is in the capital. Although this is just a branch, there should be third-grade essence, condensing pills here. Wu Long also had the capital to be arrogant. In the outer yard of Danwu College, he was ranked 895 and had a cultivation base of early-stage Khanate realm. Young Master Long, let's go to the 3rd floor. They sell some elixirs there. Zhao Xian said. Thud. At this moment, Ning Yu walked down from the 2nd floor. He was surprised to see Zhao Xian and Wang Tao not far away from him. But soon, Ning Yu's face darkened. Wang Tao and Zhao Xian were involved in the poisonous blood powder that he was poisoned with. Lin Feng had been killed, and the 2 of them were still at large. Since I've bumped into you, I'll collect some interest first. Ning Yu's lips curled up and he thought to himself. Seeing Ning Yu coming down from the second floor, Zhao Xian and Wang Tao looked at each other and could not help but take a few steps back. They had not forgotten how ruthless Ning Yu was when he killed Lin Feng in the Tianxian Square. Humph! Ning Yu, why are you here? Zhao Xian and Wang Tao's tone hardened when they remembered that their cultivation had reached the peak of the Hotian intermediate stage, and there was a genius from Dongwu College standing beside them. The Supreme Grade Pavilion is not a place that anyone can come to. Ning Yu cupped his fists and said, "If vermin like you can come here, why can't I?" Zhao Xian was enraged. "Who are you calling vermin? Ning Yu, don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you killed Lin Feng. Today, I'll let you know that there's always someone better than you." Zhao Xian and Wang Tao clenched their fists tightly, surrounding Ning Yu in the middle. "We could trample you to death in the past, and we can do it again now." After Lin Feng died in battle, the Zhao family and the Wangs spent a lot of money to buy elixirs and magical weapons to enhance Zhao Xian and Wang Tao's strength. Now their cultivation had reached the peak of the Hotian intermediate stage. Their combined strength was comparable to Lin Feng in the past. Chapter 55. Peak of the Intermediate Hotian Stage. Not bad, not bad. Surrounded by Zhao Xian and Wang Tao, Ning Yu showed no fear. Instead, he smiled and said, "I already know everything that happened in Flower Scattering House. Today is the perfect opportunity to settle the score." "What Flower Scattering House?" "Hugh is babbling nonsense here." Zhao Xian and Wang Tao's eyes flashed fiercely as they attacked together. Two fists flew towards Ning Yu's head. Swish, swish. As he watched Zhao Xian and Wang Tao approach, Ning Yu's eyes narrowed. His body flashed strangely as two palms filled with violent yuan energy suddenly thrust forward. Chi-chi. Wherever the fist passed, even the air would emit a low, explosive sound. Netherworld Samsara Palm, first form, dust severing. Crack, 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 crack. As Ning Yu's voice fell, an extremely overbearing power erupted in an instant, wreaking havoc on Zhao Xian and Wang Tao's fists. Puchi! The pain from their fists caused Zhao Xian and Wang Tao to spit out a mouthful of blood. Their bodies swayed in the wind before they flew backwards with a loud bang and landed heavily on the ground. "Little bastard, why are you so powerful?" With an angry roar, Zhao Xian and Wang Tao stood up while enduring the pain from their fists. Their faces were extremely dark. "What a cheap mouth. Didn't your parents teach you to be more respectful?" With a vicious glint in his eyes, Ning Yu stomped his right foot on the ground and his body shot forward. Yuan energy gathered in his palms as he slashed at Zhao Xian and Wang Tao's minds. Although he couldn't kill the two of them today, he could still teach them a lesson and destroy their sea of consciousness. When it is possible to forgive, forgive, and forget. Just as Ning Yu's palms were about to land on Zhao Xian and Wang Tao, a calm voice rang out beside his ear. Soon after, a fist flew through the air and collided with his palms. Bang! After the blow, Ning Yu took several steps back. Peak early Xiantian stage. Looking at Wu Long standing in front of him, Ning Yu's expression changed slightly, but that was all. That was because the peak of the initial Xiantian realm wasn't enough to make him worry. "Why don't you give me some face today and let the two of them go?" Wu Long said indifferently with a carefree look on his face. "Who are you?" Ning Yu did not continue to attack and asked. "Humph. Young Master Long is a genius from Dongwu College, and he's very powerful. You'll have to bear the consequences if you offend him." Before Wu Long could speak, Zhao Xian rushed to say, "I advise you to be obedient. Otherwise, even the Ning family will be implicated." "The geniuses of Dongwu Academy, huh?" Ning Yu frowned as he slowly said, "I'm afraid that I can't do it today. I have a grudge with the two of them, and I have to settle it today." Whoosh! Wu Long's face was a little ugly. He didn't expect that after Ningyu knew his identity, he still didn't give him face. What if I insist on protecting the two of them today? Suppressing the rage in his heart, Wu Long asked, "You're their bodyguard? Personal bodyguard?" Ningyu was a little surprised. Logically speaking, a genius from Danwu College shouldn't be so protective of Zhao Xian and Zhao Xian. "You're courting death." Wu Long felt that he was being humiliated and immediately attacked. His fist carried a powerful gust of wind as it blasted toward Ningyu. "Hee, the two of you, this is the premium pavilion. Isn't it a little inexcusable for you to attack here?" Suddenly, Niahua walked down from the second floor with a smile on his face. Seeing Niahua come out, Wu Long's fist that had just blasted out instantly stopped. He was somewhat shocked. This was because he couldn't see through Niahua's strength. "Old fart of all times to come out. You just had to come out at this time." A malicious look flashed across Zhao Xian's face. In his view, Niahua was completely siding with Ningyu. Otherwise, why didn't Niahua come out to stop them when they were fighting? Now that Wu Long had just made a move, Niahua had come out to stop him. This made them very unhappy. "The two of you, if there's anything, sit down and talk about it slowly. It's better to make enemies than to resolve them." Niahua quietly smiled at Ningyu and said, "Why don't you give me some face today and stop?" In fact, Niahua had already been watching from the second floor. When Ningyu fought with Zhao Xian and Zhao Xian, he naturally wouldn't come out to stop them because he knew that Ningyu's strength far exceeded the two of them. After all, Ningyu was a distinguished guest of the premium pavilion. Spending 300 high-grade essence crystals, he had to be partial. Wu Long's cultivation was at the early stage of the Xiantian realm. In Niahua's view, Ningyu was no match for him at all. Him coming out to stop them not only protected the dignity of the premium pavilion, but also sold Ningyu a favor. It was just right. "I don't care." Ningyu knew what Niahua was thinking. He shrugged and didn't point out. Wu Long's face was a little gloomy. The premium pavilion was powerful, and he couldn't afford to offend them. But he had already been infuriated by Ningyu. No matter what, he had to teach Ningyu a lesson today. Otherwise, it would be difficult to resolve the hatred in his heart. Wu Long rolled his eyes and said to Ningyu, "I want to challenge you to a life-and-death battle." "Hua!" Wu Long's words immediately caused a big wave in the premium pavilion. The genius of Danwu College wants to challenge Ningyu? I didn't hear wrong, did I? You didn't hear wrong. There's a rumor that Ningyu has already set a life-and-death battle with Zhang Wenyong. How did he offend the genius of Danwu College now? Even if he can defeat Zhang Wenyong, I don't think he has the ability to have a life-and-death battle with the genius from Danwu College, right? Your news is outdated. Zhang Wenyong advanced to the Xiantian realm as early as yesterday, and he advanced to the peak of the early stage of the Xiantian realm in one fell swoop. I heard that an expert from the Zhang family personally came to the capital to help Zhang Wenyong advance to the middle stage of the Xiantian realm in 1 week. Does that mean that Zhang Wenyong's strength far exceeds Wu Long's? The surrounding discussions made Wu Long's face even more gloomy. He hadn't expected that Ningyu would be so arrogant. Although he was ranked around 800 in the outer court of Danwu College, he didn't dare to offend Zhang Wenyong. After all, Zhang Wenyong's brother was ranked in the top 50 in the outer court of Danwu College. Sigh. I've realized that recently so many people like to have life-and-death battles. Ningyu swayed his wrist and gently stroked the Qingyun sword. Qingyun sword. Seeing the flying sword in Ningyu's hand, Wu Long had a look of sudden realization and said, "No wonder you dare to be so arrogant. It turns out that you have Yunqiang's support. He even lent you the Qingyun sword. I'm arrogant." Pointing at himself, Ningyu was a little speechless. He hadn't agreed to the life-and-death battle yet. So how did it become arrogant? This Wulong is too arrogant. I just didn't give him face, and it became arrogant. It's simply unreasonable. Although Ning Yu wasn't afraid of Wulong, there was no need for him to have a life-and-death battle with him. He was pressed for time and didn't have time to waste here. There were only 5 days left until the date of the duel with Zhang Wenyang. He wanted to use these 5 days to improve his cultivation and strive to promote his strength to the peak of the late stage of the Hotian realm. I'm not interested in a life-and-death battle with you. Shaking his head, Ning Yu walked straight out of the best grade pavilion. Looking at Ning Yu's departing figure, Wulong clenched his fists. Xiao! Chapter 56. Watch out! In the best grade pavilion, Niahua did not expect Wulong to suddenly attack. Coupled with Wulong's extremely fast speed, it was too late for him to stop him, so he could only warn him. Ning Yu, to think you would have such a day. Zhao Xian's eyes were extremely vicious, as if he could see Ning Yu's miserable state when he was hit. A sinister look appeared on his face. Wulong will definitely be able to cripple him. Wang Tao was also very excited. As long as Wulong crippled Ning Yu, they would be able to bully him unscrupulously. You're courting death. Although Wulong's attack was extremely fast, and it was a sneak attack, Ning Yu's super strong soul perception was already aware of at the moment he made his move, so he did not panic in the slightest. With a ruthless expression, the yuan qi in the 2 cyclones surged wildly, and all of it flowed into the palm of his right hand. With a turn of his body, he punched back at Wulong's fist. Kacha! Ning Yu used almost all of his strength in this palm, without the slightest bit of holding back. The yuan qi in the 2 cyclones wreaked havoc on Wulong's fist. The huge force of the yuan qi caused Wulong's expression to change. His body was pushed back several feet, and he fell into the best grade pavilion. Swish! At this moment, the scene instantly quieted down. Everyone's eyes were wide open as they looked at Wulong, who had fallen to the ground. The shock was plain for all to see. It must be known that Wulong's cultivation was at the early Xiantian stage, while Ning Yu was only at the Hotian stage. There was a huge difference in strength between the two. How could Ning Yu defeat Wulong in one move? Rumble. After a moment, the entire best grade pavilion was in an uproar. Everyone was talking about it. Did I see that right? Ning Yu defeated the genius from Danwu College in one move? That's right. Ning Yu's palm just now was extremely fast. I only saw a shadow flash by, and then Wulong was defeated. He defeated Wulong in one move. How strong is Ning Yu? So he's actually this powerful. In the supreme grade pavilion, Niahua's eyes narrowed and he was extremely shocked. Originally, he was worried that Ning Yu would be injured, but now it seemed that his worries were completely unnecessary. Being able to defeat the early Xiantian realm Wulong in one move, Ning Yu's strength was probably close to the middle Xiantian realm. This is impossible. Wang Tao and Zhao Xian's jaws dropped as if they had swallowed an egg. The sudden change caught them off guard. Originally, they thought that Ning Yu would be defeated. Who would have thought that in the end it was Wulong, the genius of Danwu College, who was defeated? Ahem! Wulong coughed twice and stood up with difficulty. He stared fiercely at Ning Yu and said in a cold voice, "What kind of martial skill was that? Why was it so powerful?" Wulong didn't expect that his sneak attack with 80% of his strength would be defeated by Ning Yu. According to his judgment, even if he attacked with all his strength, he might not be able to block Ning Yu's move just now. It seems that there's no need to tell you, right? Ning Yu shrugged and said lightly, "Ning Yu, you're very strong. I admit that I underestimated you, but don't be complacent. Next time, you won't be so lucky to defeat me." Wulong said, "If I can defeat you once, I can naturally defeat you twice and thrice." In response to Wulong's threat, Ningyu said non-committally. After giving Ningyu a fierce look, Wulong turned and left. Looking at Wulong's back, Ningyu raised his eyebrows and thought to himself that he was indeed worthy of being a genius of Dongwu College. He could adapt to circumstances. Failure was not terrible. What was terrible was not being able to recognize one's current situation. A genius like Wulong was destined to have much higher achievements than Yunchang in the future. You too. I don't think we've settled our debts yet. Seeing that Zhao Xian and Wang Tao were about to leave silently, Ningyu's body flashed and blocked their way, saying, "Now is the time to settle the matter of Scattered Flower House. Young Master Ning, eldest young Master Ning, the matter of Scattered Flower House has nothing to do with us." Zhao Xian instantly collapsed to the ground and even stuttered when he spoke. "Ning, you could defeat Wulong in one move. Wasn't it just a matter of half a move to kill them?" "Yes, yes, yes. It was all Lin Feng's orders. How would we dare to do anything to you?" Wang Tao hurriedly added. The poison blood powder was also purchased by Lin Feng. At that time his cultivation was far higher than ours. We had no choice but to follow him. Wang Tao was stalling for time. Just now, he had already used a secret technique to communicate with the experts of his clan. In his opinion, as long as he could stall for time until the experts of his clan arrived, Ningyu would definitely not be able to gain any advantage. What he needed to do now was to stall for time. "Forget it. I won't make things difficult for you." How could Ningyu not know what Wang Tao and Zhao Xian were thinking? He rolled his eyes and walked in front of them, patting their shoulders. "You can leave now." "You're letting us leave just like that?" Wang Tao was somewhat dumbfounded and asked in confusion. "I don't want to say the same thing twice. If you don't want to die, leave now," Ningyu said in a low voice with a cold expression. Hearing this, Wang Tao and Zhao Xian hurriedly ran out of the premium grade pavilion. Outside the premium grade pavilion, Zhao Xian's face was cold as he said viciously, "Brother Zhao, Ningyu is so powerful. We must inform the experts of our clan immediately." Wang Tao also displayed his ruthless side. "I have just used a secret technique to communicate with the experts of my clan. Now, let's go to Scattered Flower House and discuss how to get rid of Ningyu." "Indeed, we must get rid of him." Nodding his head, Zhao Xian said, "I will also inform the experts of today's events. Let's go." Exchanging glances, Wang Tao and Zhao Xian left immediately. At the same time in the premium grade pavilion, Niahua said, "Young Master Ning, I didn't expect you to be so powerful." Waving his hand, Ningyu said, "Compared to shopkeeper Nia, I am not even a little bit inferior." Niahua said, "Young Master Ning is too humble. You are not even 20 yet, right? This talent is already very high. I wonder if you are interested in becoming a guest of the premium grade pavilion?" Seeing the potential Ningyu displayed, Niahua wanted to recruit him. "Shopkeeper Nia, how can I become a guest of the premium grade pavilion?" After pondering for a while, Ningyu shook his head and refused. Now that he had many secrets on him, and with the addition of the supreme 9-purity sword art, becoming a guest of the premium grade pavilion was somewhat inconvenient. "That's a pity." Niahua did not urge him to stay, but said, "Why don't you leave from the back door?" Zhao Xian and Wang Tao suffered a loss today. They will definitely not let this go. "If that's the case, thank you, shopkeeper Nia." After thinking for a while, Ningyu did not refuse this time. Although his strength was strong enough to defeat an early innate expert, the Zhao family and the Wangs were able to become one of the 4 major families in Tianjin City. Once the 2 families found out about the great potential he had displayed today, they would definitely surround and kill him at all costs. After leaving the premium grade pavilion from the back door, Ningyu dressed up and walked towards the Snow Domain Pavilion. Chapter 57. Recently, the news of the opening of the Elixir Dragon Valley had spread far and wide. Genius martial artists from the surrounding cities had swarmed into profound Sky City, causing the city to become unusually lively. When venturing into the Elixir Dragon Valley, elixirs were essential. As the largest herb store in the Heaven Mystic City and even the Great Xia Kingdom, the Snow Region Pavilion's business was naturally booming. Just as he entered the Snow Domain Pavilion, a manservant greeted him with a smile. "Sir, are you here to buy herbs or pills?" With a flick of his wrist, Ningyu took out the 3-star consecration token and said, "I'm looking for your boss, Elder Amo. Greetings, my lord." Seeing the 3-star token in Ningyu's hand, the manservant said respectfully and carefully, "Elder Amo is entertaining an important guest. Please wait a moment, I'll go call him." It's so convenient to do things with it. After keeping the 3-star token, Ningyu did not choose to wait patiently. Instead, he found a pen and paper and wrote down the medicinal herbs he needed. In one of the rooms of the Snow Domain Pavilion, several people were talking. "Miss Lu, the main reason I'm here is to enter the Pill Dragon Valley with you," Wu Yong said as he picked up the tea on the table and took a sip. "Young Master Wu, with your strength, I'm afraid that many people will want to form an alliance with you," Lu Wei said with a slight frown. Old Mo said, "Young Master Wu, if I'm not wrong, your cultivation has already reached the peak of the early stage Khanate realm. It won't be long before you advance to the mid-stage Khanate realm, right? With your strength, even if you enter the Pill Dragon Valley alone, you will be able to do as you please." Wu Yong smiled and said, "Even though my cultivation has reached the peak of early Xiantian realm, the Pill Dragon Valley is the abode of an alchemist, and Miss Lu is a second-tier alchemist. Entering the Pill Dragon Valley with her is the right choice." Wu Yong was not stupid. An alchemist's soul force was relatively strong, so it was easy for him to discover some hidden dangers. Elixir Dragon Valley was the abode of an early-stage Level 5 Elixir Refinement Master, so it was inevitable that there would be some restrictions inside. Apart from Elixir Refinement Masters, it would be very difficult to remove those restrictions with martial Dao cultivation. Therefore, no matter how powerful Wu Yong was, he had to enter the Pill Dragon Valley with the alchemist. Lu Wei frowned and did not agree immediately. Seeing Lu Swan's reaction, Wu Yong added, "The competition in the Elixir Dragon Valley is fierce as well. When Lady Lu is in danger, I will be in danger as well. I will shield Lady Lu from all dangers." Dong dong. After some thoughts, Lu Swan was about to say something when he heard noises coming from the door. Elder Hiroshi walked forward and opened the door. "Elder Amo, there's a young 3-star consecrator outside who wants to see you," the manservant said as he stood outside the door. "Esteemed Elder." Elder Hiroshi frowned. Just as he was about to ask a question, a thought suddenly came to his mind, and he said, "I understand. You can leave for now." The servant turned around and left. "Elder Emo, could it be Ningyu?" Lu Wei asked. Nodding, Elder Hiroshi said, "It should be Ningyu. Should we invite him over?" "No need, I'll go there myself." Lu Wei immediately stood up and apologized to Wu Yong, saying, "Young Master Wu, I have to go see someone. Please wait here for a moment." "Miss Lu, I know Ningyu as well. Let's go together," Wu Yong said. Glancing at Wu Yong, Lu Wei did not refuse. In the morning, she learned of what happened in Drunken Cloud a few days ago. Not long after, Lu Wei and Wu Yong arrived at Snow Domain Pavilion's main hall. Walking quickly to Ningyu, Lu Wei said, "Ningyu, why are you here? Why didn't you inform me in advance?" Smiling at Lu Wei, Ningyu said, "I came in a hurry this time, mainly to buy some herbs." Wu Yong. Before he finished, Ningyu saw Wu Yong behind Lu Wei and asked in surprise, "Why are you here too?" "Ningyu, I trust you have been well since we last met." Wu Yong said, "I'm looking for Lu Wei to discuss the matter of entering Pill Dragon Valley." "Gentlemen, this is not the place to talk," Old Emo said. After all, this was Snow Domain Pavilion's main hall. With so many people coming and going, It was not convenient to talk. Leading Ningyu and the others into a room, old Amo said, "You guys talk first. I have something to do." Inside the room, Lu Wei, Wu Yong, and Ningyu sat in 3 different positions. None of them spoke first. After a while, Lu Wei was the first to break the silence, saying, "Ningyu, I heard that you and Zhang Wenyong have agreed to a life-and-death duel." Nodding, Ningyu did not deny it. "Fool!" Lu Wei's face darkened, a little angry, and said, "I heard that Zhang Wenyong has reached the peak of early-stage Xiantian, and a Zhang family expert came to bless him. In a week, he will definitely reach mid-stage Xiantian. What's the difference between you and him having a life-and-death duel?" "Ningyu, I also did not expect Zhang Wenyong's strength to improve so quickly." Wu Yong sighed. "How about this? Let's enter Pill Dragon Valley together. With old Mo around, Zhang Wenyong will not dare to attack you in the outer valley." After thinking for a while, Lu Wei said, "And once we enter the inner valley with me and young Master Wu, even if Zhang Wenyong has reached mid-stage Xiantian, we can still fight." "Yes, Ningyu, I am here to discuss the matter of entering Pill Dragon Valley. It just so happens that the 3 of us can form an alliance." Wu Yong's eyes lit up and he said, "Ningyu was able to cure Lu Shan's hidden illness and made Lu Shan, a second-grade alchemist, treat him with respect." From this, it could be seen that his alchemy level had most likely reached the 2nd grade. Ningyu's martial arts cultivation was not weak, and he could withstand a full-force blow from Song Fei at mid-stage Xiantian. Now, when Wu Yong looked at Ningyu, he had a hazy feeling. In other words, even he could not see through Ningyu's real cultivation. Could it be that he has advanced to the late-stage Xiantian? Just as this thought appeared in his mind, he could not get rid of it. The way Wu Yong looked at Ningyu changed. If Ningyu had really advanced to the late-stage Xiantian, then he might have a 10% chance of winning against Zhang Wenyong. As for Ningyu himself, he was not too worried. With his current strength, even if he could not kill a mid-stage Xiantian warrior, it would not be easy for a mid-stage Xiantian warrior to kill him. "Lu Wei, Wu Yong, thank you for your kindness." Ningyu had to thank Wu Yong and Lu Wei for their kindness, but regarding the alliance, he had his own views. He said, "There is no need for an alliance." The Zhang family was powerful in the capital, and Ningyu did not want Wu Yong and Lu Wei to get involved. "Ningyu, you are the Snow Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator, and we are on the same side." Ningyu looked displeased and said, "The alliance is decided. Don't say anything else. In 2 days, we will set off for Dan Dragon Valley." Ningyu did not want to go with them, but since Lu Wei was so determined, he could not refuse. After all, Lu Wei had helped him a lot. If not for old Mo, he would have been killed by Lin Jingtian. With a bitter smile, Ningyu said, "In that case, let's form an alliance. Then I will go back and prepare. We will meet at the city gate in 2 days." Wu Yong stood up, said goodbye to Lu Wei, and left the snow pavilion. After Wu Yong left, Ningyu took out a piece of paper from his pocket and handed it to Lu Wei. "I need some herbs. Get me a portion of these herbs. Jasper grass, camel peak flower." Chapter 58. Never heard of it. Lu Wei was surprised, but Ningyu was even more surprised. These herbs were relatively common 20 years ago and not expensive. Why hadn't Lu Wei heard of them? Nodding, Lu Wei said, "I've never heard of these herbs. Why don't you let old Mo take a look?" This time, Lu Wei didn't question Ningyu. She wanted old Mo to take a look and confirm if he had seen these herbs before. Last time, Ningyu had shocked her, so she didn't dare to make a rash judgment. If she hadn't seen the marrow-cleansing pill recipe Ningyu had taken out last time, she wouldn't have been so angry. In other words, Snow Pavilion doesn't have these herbs. Ningyu frowned. Camel peak flower, jasper grass. and the other herbs were essential to refining the soul-enchanting pill. Without them, it would be impossible to successfully refine the soul-enchanting pill. I don't know the specifics. Let old Emo take a look. Saying this, Lu Wei got up to call old Emo. A moment later, old Emo came to the room. Looking at the names of the herbs on the paper, old Emo was surprised and couldn't help but look at Ningyu. The jasper grass was extremely precious, worth 1 high-grade crystal. There were only 2 pearls in the entire snow pavilion. Moreover, the jasper grass was very helpful for soul damage. As for what kind of pill it could be used to refine, he didn't know. As for the camel peak flower and the other herbs, he had heard of them a few times when he was at Danwu College. But that was all. He didn't know their specific effects. After thinking for a moment, old Emo said, Snow Pavilion has the jasper grass. As for the camel peak flower and the other herbs, Snow Pavilion doesn't have them. If you really need them, you can try your luck at Danwu College. Forget it. Get me 2 sets of the herbs on the list. I'll think of something else. Helpless, Ningyu said. Also, do you have an illusionary cloud beast core? If you have them, give me 5 sets of the herbs needed for the essence condensing pill. He couldn't go to Danwu College right now, so the matter of refining the soul enchanting pill could only be temporarily put on hold. As for the absolute soul sword, it did not have the assistance of the soul imprint pill, so he could not imprint his soul imprint inside. Ningyu pondered whether he should buy another earth-grade flying sword. Touching his storage pouch, Ningyu dispelled this thought. After all, he only had over 90 high-grade origin crystals, and the cheapest low-grade, earth-rank flying sword required 10,000 high-grade origin crystals. He couldn't afford it at all. 10 minutes later, Ningyu took 2 sets of herbs for the soul enchanting pill and 5 sets of herbs for the soul condensing pill and left the Snow Domain Pavilion through the back door. Elder Mo, why did Ningyu buy 5 sets of ingredients for the soul condensing pill? Could it be that he really can concoct the soul condensing pill? Lu Wei asked doubtfully. The soul condensing pill is a 3rd grade pinnacle pill. Even I can't say that I can successfully concoct it, let alone Ningyu. Elder Mo said, in my opinion, he bought the herbs mainly because he doesn't believe in heresy. He has a drive and must concoct the soul condensing pill. Right, the inner valley of Pill Dragon Valley is extremely dangerous. Use these 2 days to prepare well and strive to advance to the pinnacle of the post-liminary realm. As if thinking of something, Elder Mo said solemnly, Danwu College has also sent out 20 students for training. Among them, there are a few who are ranked in the top 1,000 of the outer yard. They are very strong. You must be careful when the time comes. Hearing this, Lu Wei's heart skipped a beat and she secretly became cautious. To be able to rank in the top 1,000 of the outer yard of Danwu College, their martial cultivation had reached the post-liminary realm. The inner valley of Pill Dragon Valley was extremely dangerous. If one's martial cultivation was not high, a little carelessness could lead to disaster. Actually, you don't have to worry too much. Seeing Lu Wei's expression, Elder Mo waved his hand and said, the experts of the family will arrive tonight. By then Xiao Linxian will follow. With him protecting you, at least your safety can be guaranteed. Xiao Linxian? Raising her eyebrow, Lu Wei was slightly surprised. When Xiao Linxian was 12 years old, he displayed shocking martial talent and advanced to the pinnacle of body tempering stage 10. A year later, he reached the post-liminary realm. When he was 15 years old, he broke through the limits of the post-liminary realm and advanced to the early stage post-liminary realm. This year, he was 18 years old. No one knew his exact cultivation, but the outside world guessed that he had probably advanced to the mid-stage post-liminary realm. Xiao Linxian is the pillar of the younger generation in the capital. His strength is unfathomable. Nodding, Elder Mo said, this time the pavilion master spent a lot of money to invite him into the inner valley to protect you. Nodding, Elder Amo said, Elder Amo, this year, Xia Linxian should be participating in Dongwu College's assessment, right? Lu Wei asked. That's right. This year, Dongwu College is recruiting in large numbers. Most of the younger generation who didn't participate in the assessment a few years ago will be participating, Elder Mo explained. With Xia Linxian's strength, it won't be a problem for him to take first place in the assessment. He might even be nurtured as an inner yard disciple. Who knows, he might even become a core disciple in a year's time. Oh, right, Elder Mo. What did my father promise Xia Linxian to make him? A martial arts fanatic, willing to waste his time to protect me? Lu Wei was puzzled. In the capital, everyone knew that Xia Linxian was a martial arts fanatic who spent 20 hours a day on cultivation. To be able to invite him, her father must have spent a lot of money. A supreme qi condensation pill. Taking a deep breath, Elder Amo said, in order to invite Xia Linxian, the pavilion master bought a supreme qi condensation pill from the black market. Otherwise, Xia Linxian would definitely not come. Elder Amo sighed. Right now, he was half a step into the true martial realm. Once he had a supreme qi condensation pill, he would have a 50% chance of breaking through his limit and advancing to the true martial realm. Even though the market price of a supreme qi condensation pill was very low, only 1,000 high-grade crystals, there was no market for it. Unless it was some big alchemy sect, no one would sell it. Elder Mo, now that you've advanced to a 4th-grade alchemist, I believe my father will definitely buy you a supreme qi condensation pill. All these years, Elder Mo had been working hard for the Snow Domain Pavilion. He even gave up the capital to enter a small place like Tianqian City. Lu Wei had seen all of this. When this matter comes to an end, I will ask my father to allow you to return to the capital. It's the same no matter where I am, Elder Mo said with a smile. At the same time, Ning Yu had already returned home. As he was going to set off for Dan Dragon Valley in 2 days, Ning Yu did not dare to waste a single moment. First, he took out a high-grade crystal and used the spirit transformation art to absorb it, adjusting his condition to its peak. Then, with a flick of his wrist, Ning Yu took out 5 sets of herbs for the qi condensation pill. Taking out the cauldron, origin energy coiled around his palm. Sizzling sounds could be heard as the flames surged crazily at the bottom of the cauldron. This trip to Dan Dragon Valley was fraught with danger. Having a supreme qi condensation pill on him was a form of insurance for Ning Yu. Immersing his consciousness into the cauldron, he placed the herbs into the cauldron with his left hand. Extending his soul force, he carefully extracted the herbs. Even though he had already refined 3 cauldrons of qi condensation pills, and 2 of them were supreme qi condensation pills, Ning Yu did not dare to be careless. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.